Hi, everybody. I am here with a lot of other very emotionally invested people for Ashley Nicole Rabon or Rabon. She was found today alive and safe. And we wanted to update everybody, and we have our own thoughts and ideas and perspectives and concerns. So I'm going to go ahead and read the police report. By the way, in here, real quick, I just want to introduce everybody. We have Ashley, Heather, Ian, Jan, Cassandra, Nadia, Patricia, and Shay, and myself. And Rodman, who was mentioned in the NBC article, also said he would like to join. I'm just waiting on when he can. So this is from Lexington County Police. They said the Lexington County Sheriff's Office in a press release said Ashley Rabon, 26 years old, was found in a house with her phone this afternoon. The release continued to say Ashley left her home willingly March 30th, according to statements she made to investigators. She was last seen in South Carolina at her home on the 30th before 7:45 p.m. Her husband, Matt, had reported her missing, as y'all know. For those of you who read the article, you already know this, but on April 8th, it says that she sent 3 separate identical text messages from her phone to her sister, simply saying, "I'm sorry, I love you." So, Nadia in here, she also has information from relatives of theirs.
Actually still searching, but there was a lot of negativity after they found her. So just give me a minute if you want to.
Yeah, for those of you who are in the
If you wanna
Facebook groups, like there are tons of posts still coming in as I speak regarding her being found. There are memes being like mocking her because she at will left her children, and so that's kind of the focus right now. She is, word has it that she is in a mental hospital, so that's good. I'm not
That
sure.
was released by an aunt on her husband's side, I believe.
I am actually pulling the chat up right now so I can see it. And if y'all want to see it, you're going to have to open up YouTube on another window.
I'm pretty sure I saw that on the Find Ashley Rabon page, but it's since been shut down for her being in a mental hospital.
Basically, the story is from basically being said from her husband's cousin, saying that the cops pulled over a stolen truck and she jumped out and ran off, leaving her ID in the truck. I guess the guy driving admitted to where she was staying, and the cops went and busted in with a lot of stolen goods thrown around the place. And I guess she jumped up with her hands in the air and with her phone in her hand, saying that she was being held against her will. But then she finally came forward and said, "Okay, I left on my own free will."
So why'd they all say that she didn't have any of her stuff with her if she had her ID? That doesn't make any sense.
That's what nobody gets, because originally they said she left with her phone and her charger and then leggings and a sweater. So did she carry her ID with her, or was there like a pocket somewhere?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. Like the whole slipper thing. Why would she not, like, if she was planning on leaving, why didn't she prepare to leave? Like,
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. And then a lot of y'all were saying that y'all have actually left the house like it's just slippers.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
she
I
had
was
them on
going
in a
back
lot of
home.
her videos, and they kind of looked like the ones you can wear outside, like kind of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so.
I think it's kind
But
of
she wasn't planning on coming back.
right,
Yeah.
right. And like she was into makeup stuff. Like that's how I knew her, was from like the makeup group. So we were like always like we were into like full glam, and we like to have our makeup bags, and like she just doesn't strike me as the type who would be like, okay, if I'm going to a different state, I'm just gonna bring my slippers and my phone. Like that didn't correlate, which is why I still feel like there's some things that we don't know. Well, obviously there are a lot of things we don't know, but that's one of the things we don't know is why she abruptly left like that. Because why would she have even made like plans with her sister only to cancel them?
I don't know when she left if she had the intention of staying away.
So why? Okay, that's the thing. Why do y'all think she did vanish like that? Like with like what was her plan? Her long-term plan?
I don't think she had one.
Yeah.
I don't think she had one anymore either.
No. I think this all happened very abruptly when he turned that Wi-Fi on for those children. All those messages came in, and he knew it all at that point.
What do you mean? Like when he started
Like her meet me messages, like her Facebook notifications. She had just gotten a new phone because he took her phone away. Some point Thursday, the children brought him the phone and asked him to turn the Wi-Fi on so they could play games.
And he saw all the messages.
True.
That's when I believe it happened.
So do you think she
I
left
don't
because
think
of fear?
No, I think we seen in the video, he told her over and over and over, leave my house. He was leaving. He was tired of dealing with it. He was going to go dye Easter eggs or whatever he was doing with the kids. And he wanted her out of the house before he left. As a very angry man who just found out his wife was apparently prostituting herself in the home with the children there, I wouldn't leave her in my home either. All my
Yes.
valuables are there, you know.
And let's
TVs,
explain that because I
things.
think a lot of people listening don't even know that she was doing that. And I don't want to, what is it called? Slut shaming. I'm not trying to do that. This is just factual. There were messages that I'm not sure. It was from the Meet Me website. And
Yeah.
there were definite direct implications that she kind of, she admitted to making money off of sexual favors, just not in that wording. And I feel like that's why maybe it's a good thing that she is deemed mentally unstable because we all know, unless you're in the state of Nevada, prostitution is not legal. So she could actually be behind bars just for that alone. And there's also some other speculation too, that like in terms of legalities that deal with a friend named Savannah, who people feel like I actually am not very seasoned in that part of the story. I'm not as familiar as some as y'all are when it comes to this Savannah friend.
I feel like Savannah knew everything the entire time. She created a search party and she had people
Didn't show
willing to
up.
go and search for her, and she didn't show up. So, in my opinion, she had to have known that her friend was safe and that there was a plan. And I believe that she was leaving and going missing because she's done it before. So, I think she was going and leaving and trying to figure her shit out. And it backfired on her because then she was reported missing because the last time she went missing, her friend Savannah knew and told people she knew. This time she didn't.
Yeah, and I think
That's
she
true.
probably didn't plan to stay away for a long time, but then she was like, oh, maybe I can, like, teach my husband a lesson or whatever.
She
So where do
didn't
you think she
start
was
this,
going?
though. She didn't start this. Her family did.
What do you mean?
In all honesty, I think the girl was set out to go do whatever for a little bit. It got really rough. I mean, we've all had fights with our husbands. I personally have had, relationships where the situation looked exactly like theirs. There were a lot of mean things said, and she was a wreck. And I would imagine that she made some statements to her family before she left, indicating that she wasn't so safe, and then disappeared. So her family put out the missing person posters all over Facebook, and this blew up into something they couldn't control.
So why do you think then what about her just vanishing from her children? Like, what about that aspect of it?
It's not the
Well,
first time she's done it.
yeah, and if she really
Right.
doesn't have custody of them, like people were saying, then maybe she just figured, well, whatever, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, I
When
would
did
still
she
like to
see?
see
I'm
proof of
confused
that.
there. Somebody explain that to me. When did she lose custody? Because the children were in the videos.
Well,
He just has full custody of
apparently it's
them.
conditional that she is only allowed to have custody like with Matt in the marriage because of having
Well, because I
drugs
know
or
that she
something.
had left for a little while before. She had already left the relationship and moved out prior,
Hmm.
and they were trying to reconcile. So maybe that was when she didn't have custody, but she was living there with him. They had custody.
Did she lose custody when wasn't her son tested positive for cocaine? Or was that
That's what
just
I
something
heard.
that, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like conditional of like she's only allowed to have them like in the home with Matt. I don't think she can leave and take them with her and move out.
That part of the story is strange to me.
So maybe that's part of it too, is she knew that she couldn't leave with them and she wanted to leave. And legally she couldn't take them with.
No, because I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere in those videos that the kids were with her when she left the last time. When she moved out, her children were with her.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. And I just, every time she would fight with her husband, the whole reason she wouldn't leave was because she didn't want to not be with the kids. So,
Built-in
I
babysitter
don't
was
know.
repeated over and
Yeah.
over and over.
Yep. That was
She
my biggest
made the
thing is
comment
she
in the
wouldn't leave her
I
video
kids
about
with
mean,
she
them.
only seen him on the weekends, and that was while she was gone.
so something else I want to talk about is her friend Shayla Anderson. She's gotten a lot of backlash for absolutely no reason. She's been bullied. She actually had people calling certain authorities on her for no reason. And she's struggling right now in a lot of different ways that are not fair to her. And I just wanted to put it out there that if you see a Shayla Anderson online in a group dealing with Ashley Nicole Rabon, to support her because she's being treated really badly.
I want to say too, if anyone has heard the situation with Shayla, there is a group that we can add you to if you want to help in any way. Um, they feel really bad. She does not deserve anything that has been going on with her. She got screwed over really bad by, I mean, Ashley. She should have gotten a hold of her. If she truly did message the sister and Savannah and the mother, she should have let Shayla know too.
So that's what I don't understand. I'm glad you brought that up. How come no family and no police said, like, they knew the public outcry that was going on for days? People are losing sleep. People are freaking out. People are like willing to search the grounds and they're like missing work, missing, time with their spouses for this. And like, why the silence? I mean, if she went in hiding in the past and didn't do this, why now?
Yeah,
well,
just
I don't think the police knew because then obviously it wouldn't have turned into something more than what it was. But the family definitely knew at some point and they didn't speak up sooner when they should have because they could have saved Shayla a lot of time, effort, and problems that she didn't need.
I think
Mm-hmm.
the family and the police knew that Ashley was safe. I think they were just trying to still figure out where she was. And maybe the police didn't really know if she was safe or not. Maybe the parents or the family were like, we don't know. And
Well,
maybe they needed help locating her, and that's why they still kind of kept them
Well,
involved.
she
yeah.
I
wasn't safe. She
I
was
think
suicidal. They would have done anything to find her. She
Yeah.
was suicidal.
Yeah, I
They
I
think
but I
maybe
needed
they
think
help.
knew she was involved in possible other criminal activity or something, but didn't really think she was in danger. So they were
I
trying
think
to
the reason why
track
the
these
cops
cases.
didn't do all the coverage that they normally would for a regular case is because this isn't her first time disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
And
think they.
I'm sure they were
Sorry.
told that when the report was first made.
So it was like a boy who cried wolf situation.
I
Well,
think
they had
so.
interacted with Ashley, and Ashley told them that she had just been released from the hospital for an attempted suicide. They knew.
Well, maybe that news station that said she had made contact with the police or
I
people
made
told
that
them she
phone
was
call.
okay, maybe it was true.
I made that phone call. I have
Yeah,
that
I
phone
believe
call video recorded. I'm the one that called.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's exactly what they told me. She had made contact with the police department and she was fine. That's why the police weren't telling the family where she was. They didn't really know where she was, other than she didn't want to be found,
Which
is
at
my
26
opinion.
years old,
Anyway.
yeah, they don't have to tell. I mean, like, unless she's in danger, but she
Well, they were
obviously
still
wasn't.
looking for her. She's still in danger. She's still,
Right.
threatening to harm herself.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people, like the police, I feel like at the very least, they did owe just even if it was vague, just saying, we have reason to believe that she's safe. I mean, they never even just said that one liner, just that.
Well,
were
they
silent.
eventually issued a statement, if I'm not mistaken, saying that she was officially classified as a missing person.
Mhm.
And she was. She was missing. Nobody had spoken to her. They still had an obligation to lay eyes on her, whether they had spoken to her or not, whether she called or not. They still have to see her. With her threatening to commit suicide, they have to see her and do an assessment. So they were still looking for her, just not as actively looking as they would be should, they suspect her of being kidnapped or murdered.
Right. And the only reason I thought they were being like incompetent in that way is because of what they're notorious for not doing. Like if they had just been a main like a police department that wasn't known for that, then I would not have thought that they were just being lazy. And a lot of people like myself at one point were thinking that the cop was even involved since he got fired, a
Right.
few months beforehand.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if maybe they did get on her accounts and they had read messages and knew she was okay and they just didn't release that to her family or anybody.
True. Because they did say that someone messaged them and they showed the screenshot of how they did say that they've been tracing phone calls and things like that. So,
Yeah, I'm wondering how far into, like, if the police did log into her stuff. Because the meet me messages, she mentioned cops paying for things. So I'm wondering, like, if that's going to be investigated. If, like, how far that's going to go. I'm really curious to hear about that, if they do anything or not. Probably not, but
I don't think they will, and I don't think she would get in trouble for the prostitution either because they didn't catch her in the act. So honestly,
that's
it's just word of mouth. It means
yeah.
nothing.
right. That's
I mean,
true.
just
True,
depends
but like I
what
said,
is
who
in her
knows
inbox,
what
really.
get deleted? There still could be messages from cops in her inbox saying, who knows? I can't even imagine what her inbox looks like right now.
Yeah. And do you think that she was checking her messages?
Oh, for sure.
She had to have been.
So, okay. So
Yeah, if
she's
she's
checking
had
her
her
messages.
phone.
So then she
Somebody
knows
was
that we
checking
all
them.
saw it.
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody was checking. I just watched a video
Somebody
of
was
Shayla.
definitely.
I just
You
watched a
know,
video saying that she was actually checking not only her Facebook messages, but her text messages as well.
And I think that's why people are
Specifically the
so
ones
upset.
from Shayla.
Right. And yeah, that is a lot of the reason I'm upset too, is because
Oh, I'm
I
pissed.
I feel like my heart has been twisted like a rag, like I said earlier. Like I thought I pictured her face with her eyes in the back of her head, like rotting away in the ground, and like we need to
Oh,
go.
me too.
It was
I
horrible,
never
and I
did.
pictured her little girl, and I was so full of hatred toward her husband, so much so that if my husband just so much as like rolled his eyes at me, I was thinking like, oh my god, like men are so like it was horrible, and like it really consumed me, like.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to see based on the messages, and we know she was on Facebook. I mean, where else was she gonna go? Like, and so like I feel like she had to see that her husband was being almost in a way kind of like framed in a way like for murder, and so like why not intervene then, or why not even just she could have had
I
a
think
friend say something to
I believe that's what she wanted. She wanted
I
to
do
frame
too.
him for something so she can find a way to make off with her kids.
Why
Yeah,
else
I
would she
think
have
that's what
posted
it
those
is.
videos?
finding out she had her phone this entire time, she obviously had to be the one to make that post. Like,
if not her, I think it was someone in that house she was in. But her posting those videos she definitely was trying to point the police in his direction.
yeah.
Or everyone in his direction.
Yeah. So then, do
I
y'all
mean,
feel like she was going to change her identity? Like, what do you think that was part of her plan? Was to just completely change her identity?
possibly.
I don't think any of that. The
Yeah,
post
me either.
said that she had taken a gun, right? It said that while he didn't like the things he was being told about her husband and what he was doing to her, she was suicidal and took a gun. I don't think that she was trying to point the finger at her husband. I think that
I don't think so either.
I think she intended to harm herself, and that was her explanation, and also her outing her husband for what he's done.
Well, a lot of us know her from like different groups. Like I know someone met her in a mommy group. I met her in a makeup group, and a lot of the posts, like in the last couple months, she would say like we would just be talking about like lipstick or something, and she'd be like, she would somehow twist the conversation to bring up like depression, and then she would bring up how she can't wait for her escape. Like she's planning her escape from her husband. So like that's the only thing that makes me think maybe she did plan to kind of disappear. But then I think back to how much she loved her kids, but then I think of how she did cocaine while with the baby. So it's just kind of, I don't know.
I do.
The word escape could mean many things to many different people.
The reason
Maybe
why
she's
Yeah.
talking about leaving the house at all, but leaving. Period.
the reason why I think that it was a possible way for her to try to get fingers pointed at her husband was because on top of the post that she had made with them arguing after he found out that she was cheating with multiple men and all that is because she also had made posts saying he's so mad that basically if I get killed it was him or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't word for word it because it's not in front of me, but it was along those lines that he's so mad that,
Yeah.
he'll kill
If I go
me.
missing, y'all know who did it. He's mad enough.
So
Right.
then, I mean, do y'all really feel like she's suicidal? If she's willing to, because usually suicidal people are like super empathetic, and the last thing they would do is like hurt someone else. Because wouldn't that make her like not truly suicidal if she's okay with like other people being accused of murder?
I feel like she's
I
a
think
special kind of breed. She's a special breed.
I
really
think she
do
was
think
just
that
too embarrassed and too damn scared after that missing poster hit Facebook and everybody flipped out, accusing him of murder and everything else. It just went too far.
I don't think
I
she
do
had
want to say though,
big.
based on the videos that we did see, I don't want to take attention completely away that she was in a very abusive relationship.
Oh,
So that
absolutely.
definitely,
I think maybe they were abusive towards each other, though.
Yes, they were
Yeah, but
very
the groups I'm
toxic
in, like,
relationship.
I'm in the safe return for Ashley right now. I'm scrolling down, and people are like calling her crazy lady. Well, that's the nice remarks about her compared to a lot of these. Like they are making it sound like Matthew was like dad of the year, and like she was just the devil. Which two wrongs
Oh,
don't
they're
make a
making
right.
memes. They're making memes. They are tearing her apart as
Yeah.
far as her character and the things that they're saying about her. It's kind of sad.
It is. How is that
and
going
I
to
don't know.
empower her? She's got three children. I mean, there is a chance that she and Matthew, like, if they step out of that environment and they get drug tested every week, because I looked at old photos, it looks like things took a turn for the worse like a few years ago. I mean, they definitely, you can't judge a book by its cover, but they did seem like it seems like there is a chance that they could, and I want to see that. I want to see this family get empowered and find resources and get better. Because I do think there is like a percentage there of love between those two. I think that's why he would get so mad. And I think that's why she would get so upset. Because, I mean, if they didn't love each other, it wouldn't matter to them. But
I'm not sure that it's still love as it is habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's routine.
No, there was passion there. They were hurt. They were hurt and they were
Yeah,
out for blood
I
and
think they both
hurting
need
each
a lot
other.
of help, like separate and as a couple. Like,
I don't know. I just feel like with both of them being the way that they are, the relationship was toxic and it became routine for them because they've been together for so long.
I also do want to say none of us know what the relationship was in the beginning, but when you are
I don't know what it is.
exposed to mental abuse for so long, it does change who you are, and in turn you start doing things that
Wait,
are abusive.
it looks like there's an
That's
official
true.
statement.
There's a statement.
yes,
An
I'm
official
checking
one?
chat right now.
Yep. It says,
On
An
which
official
y'all
one.
don't know WTF. I've been through
from
this
her.
week. Keep talking shit and gossiping though. She said she did leave willingly, but I was not gone all week willingly. I didn't even have my phone till yesterday. The cops, I'm lying though because this guy has another story. Even though I only got away because he got arrested yesterday. This is why after this, I'm done talking about this. I'm traumatized. Fuck all you guys that think you know me or what's been going on. Y'all have no idea. I would never leave my kids like that. Nobody that could help cared though. Where were they to ping my phone? He was on all week. I hate everyone right now. I'm not perfect and I've done some dumb shit, but I'm a damn good mom. I've always been the one there for them. P.S. And to all of you who have been talking shit about me and my best friend, fuck you and your mom's a hoe. Okay.
Oh, and it's
Really?
posted by
Really?
Savannah, of course.
Really?
So if she was gone, if she didn't have her phone until yesterday, why did she not come to the police?
And so
Why
who
did
is
she
this
not
man?
take it?
Wow.
Who's the man she's talking about?
Yeah,
I
It's a
that's
don't
what
good
I'm
question.
wondering.
Mystery truck driver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they haven't
Yeah.
released who the other person was yet.
I mean, I'm glad that she still has a sense of humor. I'm really, I don't see how she couldn't kind of meet our concern with a little bit of understanding. I mean, but she
Well,
probably is getting a like crap ton of backlash right now. So
So does that mean
Yeah,
there's
like
two
I said, I
guys?
can't imagine what her inbox. I'm sure she's gotten
Yeah,
death threats, and I mean, look
for
at
sure.
what Shayla's gotten, and Shayla's only tried to help find her. I mean,
so let me get this straight. She said, because I'm not looking at it, she said that she did leave at will, but that she didn't intend to be gone a whole week.
yeah,
She did not.
she wasn't gone all week willingly.
It looks
Okay, so
like she
here's
was
my
being.
question.
she's
Why,
lying.
Yeah,
if
she's lying.
she didn't get her phone until yesterday, why
Contact
are the
police.
posts of the abuse and all the conversations about the abuse in the Facebook groups, why are all those gone? Wouldn't the person that took her want to leave those right where they were to
Yeah,
point the finger
She
somewhere
said
else? Why
maybe she
those
was. Maybe
particular
when she got her.
conversations?
Maybe when she got her phone, she started going through it and seeing it, and then she decided to try to remove it.
If she
No,
Um,
this has been
If
going
she was
on for
held against
days.
her
That
will,
her
she would
things
have
have
called the
been being
police.
deleted for days.
you're right. You're talking about the comments in the groups. That is true.
yeah.
Right, right.
And those were gone before yesterday.
All the comments about the abuse all disappeared.
So it still doesn't add
Why
up,
is
folks.
that?
No, still. Ugh.
And Savannah's saying, because I'm looking at it right now, so it's a screenshot of her post, and from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. And it shows that, okay, so she said, on behalf of my best friend. So should we trust that from Savannah? Is she a reliable source to trust that?
When it comes to them two,
So
I think they're
with
thick as
all
thieves. So I would say yes.
Okay.
with everything that is going on and the fact that she was just picked up by the police and tried to run, wouldn't they have her, wouldn't they be
When they have her
evaluating her
phone,
mentally?
she's in a
Evaluating her?
mental institution.
I
She can't have
Yeah.
her phone.
How are you talking to people I've been in
Right?
yeah, they don't let you chat.
It sounds kind
No.
of like an on-the-fly conversation that she probably had with Savannah, like during a phone call that she was allowed to have. Because if somebody says like "f you" and your mom's a hoe, that's like something you would say like out loud, being funny at the end of a phone conversation. So like maybe
Well,
that's
that part was from Savannah. That was Savannah
oh
saying that part.
Oh, I do see that. It's not in quotations.
okay, I missed that.
I'm glad that can be like so
What I
humorous for
don't get
them.
though is if she didn't stay gone willingly all week, why would she try running when the police like why wouldn't she go tell him, "Hey, I was kidnapped, like I'm being
Or
held hostage," like
Because
yeah,
the
some
or
car was
why
stolen.
Because she's lying, I
So
think. I don't know.
yeah.
It's
or
See,
crazy. Why would
that's,
you
that
be,
doesn't
your
make any
first thought
sense
would
to
be
me.
go on Facebook and be like, you guys are talking shit about me,
if she got away from the person yesterday because he got arrested, if she really wasn't running, then she would have ran to police. She would have called someone when she got her phone.
Exactly.
But
That makes no
Right,
sense to me.
right.
Thank God I'm free rather than going and attacking people.
Right? What? Like, I didn't know that people were like this in real life.
I didn't either, and I think it's like what Ian said. I was seeing myself in her, so I was just thinking, there's no way
Yeah.
she could leave her kids.
Yeah,
My
I
fiance called this from the first day.
Yeah,
good job, Taylor.
He was
and I
like,
was
gone
heated.
girl.
I think
He
this whole
was.
family needs like group therapy and individual therapy all at the same time.
And the kids, because I mean, all it's gonna take in a few years is her daughter googling her mom's name, and she'll see that her mom. Like, I mean, think of all the evidence that goes deep into the really the ugly underbelly of her parents' relationship. It's like prostitution, cocaine use, like who knows what else is gonna come out in this story. We
oh
don't
my
really
god,
even know.
no.
Like, who was this guy she was with? Was that one of the dudes paying her? We don't know. But then some people are saying that there was more to the relationship with her and was it Savannah than
I believe that. Yeah. There were posts, I don't remember exactly how long ago they were, but it was something for Pride or something with LGBTQ. I'm not sure exactly, but it was talking about like recognizing love and it was pictures of them. So I think that people were accusing Savannah of maybe being the person that Matt was cheating on her with, as people have said. But I think that everything was just jealousy when it came to it,
Well, there had
in my
been
opinion.
something along the lines of somebody saying that they actually were in a relationship in the past.
I could believe that. I mean, Savannah was really angry in her live videos. It was really mean and everything. I mean, even referred to herself as this is Ashley's best friend, not even her name. It was
right.
very, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but she was very possessive of her. And I understand being a best friend, you may be that way, but I didn't see anything until like she started going live. And even looking back on Ashley's Facebook page, I looked at both of their Facebook pages and I didn't see much between either of them for the last while. And then suddenly Ashley's missing and I don't know.
All right, so y'all said that she said she got her phone back. What, yesterday is what she said? So I'm really confused about that. That makes no sense.
Yeah, go to the group chat on Facebook and you can read it.
It's confusing,
Yep, saw that.
but the thing that gets me the most right now, and I know this is obviously something that's not credible, but I have a medium friend, and this story that was just posted would match what feelings my friend had to almost a T. Like it's insane. Like I'm actually like kind of in shock. Like whether it's true or not, the fact that she even came up with that story and it matches what my friend had a feeling of to a T is absolutely mind boggling.
What did your friend say again?
She felt like she was alive and that she left at her own free will, but she was upset and thinking this is why and feeling angry, and she was accompanied by two men that were not very kind to her.
Wow.
Yeah, like literally to a freaking T. So I have chills right now. Like that's how insane that is.
Can you
Well,
repeat
ask
that?
that person if she was being held against her will.
Yeah.
Why would they give her
My
phone back to her like several different times randomly and be checking her Facebook messages? That doesn't make any sense.
No, and that's
I
why I'm
mean,
saying
it's possible the
whether
people she was with weren't very nice, but I don't think they were holding her against her
whether
will.
she my friend said they weren't letting her leave. They were holding, like they were not letting her leave. But the thing is whether she made that story up on her own and it's not true, or if it is true, the fact that my friend had that down to a T is, like I said, it's just incredible to me.
That
Maybe
is.
she
Was that
read that
posted
on
in one of the
Facebook and
groups?
that's why she put it on there.
Oh,
My friend
Yeah.
had no idea about this case at all. She
No, she's talking
Think
No,
about
I'm
she meant
saying
Ashley.
Ashley.
Savannah.
She
oh,
meant
okay.
Ashley.
read what your friend said on Facebook.
Oh,
Well,
great cover
no,
story.
it was a private message, like,
Well, a bunch of
so there
different
was no way.
psychics have been saying that kind of stuff
I did
online
see
in
that
the
too.
Facebook groups.
But not exactly what she had said. There was somebody who had mentioned water and woods and something about a name that began with an R
yeah, I remember
and
that.
things
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
in that
But
group.
right, but I think that's actually how I found her story.
Yeah, I think I'm
Um,
the one that told you what group it was in.
but
That post.
Well, I guess
that
we'll see if she ends up getting arrested for anything.
So who is Troy Reason Jr.? Because
He's supposed to be
That
I think
related
is
they're
to
someone
the
on
cousins.
family.
Matt's.
he's who?
Someone
He's
on
supposed to be
Matt's.
related to the family.
Um,
There's Troy
Matt,
Reason and Sarah
some
Reason.
Okay, because I'm trying. Okay, here's the post. He made a post. I'm not sure when he made it. It was either today or yesterday. It was today.
he's
That's
he's
today,
the cousin of the husband.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like his cousin
allegedly.
or something.
Oh, okay. So that's the one that you read earlier then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
By the way, Matt's family is on a thread claiming that every word of that is true.
Okay. So we're talking
Every
about
word of what Ashley said.
Every word of Troy Reason's post about her
Oh,
being
okay.
caught in the truck and running and caught in the house. And
Well, it seems that Matt's side of the family has given us more information that seems
right.
Yeah,
factual than anyone has.
and I feel bad because I kind of thought they were lying. Like I thought they were
Me
just making shit
too.
up. And
Me too.
so, how many of you said that publicly?
Me.
A lot. I did
yeah,
most
I
I have
never
some
definitely.
did.
apologies I need to make.
I went berserko.
Oh
Yes.
no.
Someone made a YouTube video.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm gonna like change the subject. So like I'm worried about a contagion effect. Okay, like I'm worried that what she did, kind of like with this string of suicides that you see after someone live streams a suicide or someone shoots up a school, you see a string of the same behaviors. I'm worried that this might have a contagion effect because not only did she get popularity, she got a sympathy from she got global sympathy. She got global panic. She's kind of in a way a little semi-famous right now. She's gonna, there's always gonna be a handful of people out of any tragedy, even murders, where people are gonna, always support you after just because you have a little bit of fame to you. I mean, I could go on. So I'm worried that this is going to have a contagion effect that somebody, whether they're on drugs or they want to leave their husband, but they don't really have any real reason, or they're having an affair or whatever. I still don't know why she left. Like, I feel like now people are going to mimic this in her position and just to, garner a lot of attention. And someone in the comments, Eric Hoffer, actually said she's the reason why cops don't take disappearances seriously. And
Yeah.
That's true.
so that's what I'm worried about. It would not surprise me if there's like a string of things like this that happen now in the next few months or something. Like, because you can't just disappear and not tell anybody
Yeah,
if you have kids. That's not okay, no matter how depressed or anxious you are.
and the way her and Savannah are responding to it on Facebook is just making her look even worse.
Are you
Yep.
talking about like making a quote unquote official statements on her behalf.
Yeah, just whatever they both said, it just doesn't sound like somebody who was just held captive for a week, you know?
No.
Right. No, it
They
does
just
not at
seem
all.
like they're just full of drama.
Well, she might be coming down off drugs. I mean, you're pretty like a person's pretty angry and like hostile if they're coming down off things, and we know that she admitted in videos to using speed, from what I heard. So
Yeah.
Actually,
that's
somebody
my-
just commented about her meth use, and Savannah re-commented about it not having anything to do with this.
What?
Oh,
What does that have to
Oh.
do with this?
and speaking of the meth use, people are suspecting that the bruises that are all over her body don't look reminiscent of like beating bruises. They think they are like meth.
Drug related.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of people I know who are like heroin addicts, just the way the two of them act.
And track marks
I don't
don't always
think
have to be on your arms. So
Mm-mm.
So people in the chat are saying that if she had admitted herself to a unit, the first 24 hours of intake, you have no phone, no contact unless it's in the hospital's phone line, and then it's only family. And this is an RN who's saying this.
That's me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, there
Girl,
is no
you can talk.
phone. You're not talking. You can't even see family for the first couple of days.
No, you can't.
Especially in this
I
situation.
I think that
12
varies per state, though, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I feel
think
like
it
she's
changes.
probably under like a probably being like detained like by police also at the hospital
Yeah, I don't
to
see
be
them letting her
evaluated,
have a
and then they'll
phone and
determine
like.
what they're going to proceed with.
So, okay, so who here thinks then that it was an abrupt, like that she left abruptly, and then who thinks that it was actually planned?
I think she just left abruptly, and then her family started a bunch of stuff that they couldn't take back.
Well,
don't
they
know
didn't go public on Facebook or anything until Easter, so she was gone for a couple days. She was gone Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, and then Sunday morning is when they posted she was missing.
Right?
It was Sunday?
Or, yeah, it was on Easter.
I thought it was Saturday.
Well,
It's
he
been so many
reported
days
her
strung
missing
together, I don't
Saturday,
even
but they
know.
didn't make any flyers or anything until on
Sunday.
Sunday, I'm pretty sure.
I'm on the fence. I don't know how I feel yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm more confused now than I was before.
Her
Like,
posts all leading up to this over the last couple months kind of make it seem like she was planning on running away,
she was
but
planning it. But
Yeah.
I don't know if she planned to make it look like her husband did something. I think when she saw everyone was accusing him of murder and all this stuff, then she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna post these videos and this thing and make it seem all crazy." I don't
But then
even
why
know.
would she have posted the "if I go missing, y'all know who did it, he's mad enough"?
Yeah,
feel like
maybe
that
she
was
was.
also a
Maybe
weird-
she watched
I don't
Gone Girl
know.
too many times.
And
I don't
still haven't
know.
seen that yet.
Yeah, those videos, that's what captivated me. Because, I mean, let's face it, how many missing people posters do we see every day? We see a lot. And what glued me to this was seeing live video of this, like, recent fight, or many videos, actually. That's what really captivated me. And had I not seen those, and especially the cop one, I was like, oh my God, I immediately saw her as a victim. And yeah, so that's for me, that was the component that made me pay attention. And Donald in the chat said, it's the people who care about her who wanted to know where she is. That's why it's gotten attention, and her domestic situation, one a lot of people identified with. Yes, I completely agree. And I think, but once she saw how people were responding to those videos, that would have been when I would have like deleted them, because I would have been like, oh crap, they're gonna like seriously kill my husband. Like, I would have done something.
yeah, I would have come forward at that point or said something.
I mean,
she
she was
wanted-
in the care of her kids, so.
I don't agree with the way the cop treated her, but there were people on her side, like her side of the family and everything, saying that there was other things that had happened before she recorded that had aggravated him. And we don't really know, but I mean, I don't think he should have responded that way. But also, we have to think of it too. If he thought she was armed and dangerous and hiding a gun, he might have also felt like his life was threatened. So
Yeah, I think he needs to work on how he articulates himself. Like, because
Yeah.
he should have said, look, you might not have a gun, but I'm not going to take any chances, lady. So instead of just stating the husband's word as fact, he should have just worded like, I think it
Yeah.
was just a matter of stupidity, but
and we don't know if he said that before she started recording the conversation. how
Right.
long
You
their
never
arguing went
record
on.
yourself acting like a fool. You just don't do it. You know you're being recorded. You're on your best behavior. She admitted in that video to being suicidal. So that officer had every reason to believe that she had a gun.
I still don't think the way you talked to her was like,
Oh,
No.
no, absolutely not. You shouldn't speak to any person in the
but
public
then I
that way.
feel
He is a
terrible
public
because
servant.
yeah,
I
I
thought
think
she
that
got-
I think that did have something to do with him getting fired because he made a comment about like having other calls that he had to respond to that are domestic. I mean, that's like working at McDonald's and getting mad that you have to like serve burgers. Like,
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and Lily Blue, is DFC the same thing as CPS? Because Lily in the chat, she said, I don't know, but DCF needs to check out that whole situation. I didn't like a lot of things I heard in the videos. Is DCF
yeah,
like,
they're the same thing.
I
Yeah,
believe
they
Oh,
it.
one of
call
her
it
babies was
different names in
screaming.
different states.
Yeah. Well, I feel
Like
like
here,
this, if anything,
it's
hurt her
CPS.
chances of having custody of her children.
definitely. Heck yeah, you can't just. I mean, there are mama bears in the forest who care more for their young. They wouldn't disappear. I mean, pandas won't even let the panda baby climb up a tree until they're like a year. So yeah, I mean, no, you don't just leave your kids. I don't care how depressed or.
What
No.
if she felt like there was no other option? I mean, if she didn't have custody of her kids,
Well, then I would have called the police or something. Like I wouldn't leave them with somebody I feel like is. Because she said she feels like he's a dangerous narcissist, like many times.
The post said he threatened to kill them.
Right, and that. So I would never leave
So,
my kids with somebody like that if I truly
I-
believe it.
just silly. It's just silly.
there's just so much that
She couldn't take him with her. She didn't have custody. She didn't want her there. She didn't have a choice. She had to leave, and she had to leave without the kids. She didn't have any options.
So do you think her drug use was like a way to like then kind of numb herself to the reality that she was going to have to? Because I mean that would be a nightmare for me.
I think she
Well,
was
her
definitely
whole
using it
life right
so-
now at this point, I'm sure, is a nightmare. One that she did. I do not believe she intended to start any of this. I really don't. I believe her family started something on her behalf. She's the one started. I mean,
I'm trying really hard to put myself in her perspective and like to really try to understand why she would feel that was a wise decision, or I don't know.
In the
There
age
were
of
people talking. Go ahead.
in the age of cell phones, you can't really cleanly disappear anymore. You know,
no, you can't.
Oh,
She did a
absolutely
pretty good
not.
job of it for 11 days.
Unless you ditch your cell phone and you don't have one. I mean, honestly,
Even then, pictures are shared and people have their phones. And if they see you, I mean, it really is whether you have your phone or not. It just makes it a little bit more difficult if you don't have a phone. But I mean, unless you plan on full out changing your appearance and getting a new, identity, you'll be
Yeah.
found.
So yeah, that would make sense then that it was an abrupt, like that she left abruptly, because I don't see her changing her identity and, like y'all said, going Gone Girl. That just doesn't.
Not with just her house shoes on.
No, I mean I saw posts where she would want girlfriends to come over just so she could get laundry done. So that doesn't strike me as somebody who would like completely do a transformation like that. Like that's not. That takes a
I'm
lot.
guessing. I'm guessing she was either already fucked up or she was fiending to leave in her slippers. But that's just me.
He made her leave. He told her over and over and over again, leave my house.
But
He
didn't he
was
do that a long
going to
time?
leave. He wasn't going to leave her in that house if he was leaving.
Right.
Do we want
but
to touch on what?
She could have got some shoes.
Yeah, and didn't he like threaten to kill himself though? Like he didn't deny that when she said he did that the last time she tried
Somebody
to leave.
else confirmed that. I think there's a police report or something somewhere of him trying to drive his truck off a mountain.
Yes, with the
That was a
report of the
different
ex.
relationship.
Like I
They
said,
both
I
need
just think
help.
it's a
They're
lot of
both,
people who need counseling. It's not just them though, it's their families too. Like those
Yes.
families are extremely toxic.
That's why
can
I
you
feel like they need
imagine
to
the
be aware.
battle going to go on over those children?
It's very sad.
It's already started. They're already finger pointing and being hateful. I mean, her private messages between the guy that found the information about, how she was making her money are being blasted all over by his family. Her
Which I'm
children
also
have to
curious.
see that at some point.
That's
It's posted
yes.
on the internet. This is not going to go away.
There's even like I'm not gonna give specifics, but there's even like a part where she talks about a very traumatic thing that happened to her when she was 11, and that's also been screenshotted and spread. And I
Yeah,
don't see how
yeah.
that was even relevant, but
Well, his family's spreading it around now. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't blame him for being angry, but nobody is thinking about these kids. Nobody.
No, and his family, I mean, they're joking around about it, and they're gonna see that, like you guys said, when those kids get older, they're gonna see that they made jokes and laughed
I
about
mean,
it.
they're
It's
making
disgusting.
memes about her being a prostitute. And I'm sorry, but as everybody knows, once a picture's out there, even if you delete it within the next 5 seconds, it's shared, it's saved, it's out there.
Oh yeah.
though, I think our kids will be able to like detect that that's just bullying because there's never an excuse to bully somebody, even if you hate them. And so I feel like they'll be able to like see that as the bullying that it is. However, I think of the atrocious things that like because I haven't spoken to my dad since I was like 3, and there are certain things that I didn't want to believe about him, and then I later on had to believe them, and they were like atrocious, like disgusting, like the stuff you'd see in movies, and I didn't care about how horribly he was treated by certain people in my family. I actually I hold resentment toward him. So I feel like if her kids get older, if she and Matthew don't change their ways, they're not going to care as much about the rumors circulating about that. They're going to care more about the fact that their parents aren't being parents. Like that's going to be their that's why I hope they because if they change, you know what? If they turn their life around and do a 180, those kids are not going to care about it's going to be like, it's going to jab them a little bit when they read it, but it's not going to affect how they feel about because actions speak louder. So like they're gonna be like, well, you know what? My parents love me. Like, who cares? Like Michael Jackson was accused of like raping little boys, but he was such a good dad at the end of the day that his kids didn't hold it against him. Like, that's what matters really. Bullying sucks. I'm not saying the bullying is okay.
Like I said, I think this was a huge fight that got really childish and then it escalated to a point of no return. And that's just what it was. And there was drugs involved. So that's part of it. There's actually something that I want to bring up. There's a comment that I'm reading right now, and it says that they believe that she has herself some narcissistic personality traits. What do you guys think?
Well, I asked y'all
I
earlier to tell me if y'all were therapists what y'all would diagnose her as, and there are many different responses.
I do, like I said before, we don't know what happened before, but I've definitely been victim to mental abuse in a relationship, and it changes the way that you react. You become basically fight or flight, and you turn things around on them to try and protect yourself, and you will mimic the same behaviors because you've seen what it can do to you. But it could be
That's
completely
true.
different if it was abusive in the beginning. We don't know.
I will say that she was in a group that I was in, and it was for narcissistic partners and domestic violence recovery, etc.
Oh,
And
wow.
one of the groups that I was in, she was removed from several months ago because she was accused of being a narc. So
Really?
where that's true, I don't
Oh
know.
wow.
But yeah, this was probably 4 or 5 months ago.
Wow.
Maybe, I don't know. I think whatever it is, she's definitely got some either bipolar or some pretty serious mental stuff going on top of the drug use.
I also
So
think
do
a
y'all
lot of people carry
so do y'all think that
narcissism.
she is sane? Like, do y'all think that she's rational enough to recognize that by taking off suddenly that that's not a sane decision? Like,
No, I don't think
If
She
she
is
wasn't on
medically
drugs,
diagnosed bipolar.
What?
She has a medical diagnosis. She talks about it on her Facebook page. She's bipolar, medically diagnosed bipolar, who has
Very
went off her
unmedicated.
medication.
Yeah.
Okay, so Donald in the chat, he said, I've known her since elementary school. She is not narcissistic. She has emotional scars. And you know what? The reason I have compassion for her in that area is because when I was looking at her posts like from years back, I mean, there were posts where she would talk about like doing drugs with her dad and like her mom. And that's not okay. Like that shows that I guess, okay, it might be okay under certain circumstances, but she had kids of her own. And like, I don't know. That just doesn't seem, I wouldn't do it with my kids. I don't feel like that's leading by example. So I feel like she did have an environment that she was isolated. Okay. So that part
She
is
was set
true.
up for failure, basically.
Right.
I mean, which is horrible.
But at the same time, I feel like she was raised in a toxic environment herself. But it's no excuse because there are people who grow up in toxic environments and they choose to make sure that their children don't have to live that life too.
That's
yeah,
very
I grew up
true.
in a very toxic environment, and I've always said I would keep my kids away from that shit. And yeah, my ex-husband, that happened, but I got away. I didn't, let it happen.
That's true.
But yeah, I agree.
Well, it's like someone else in here said, I think it was Heather, who said that like people either mimic that kind of abusive behavior or they turn away from it. And in her case, maybe she just was mimicking it. And then Eric said, oh, whatever, Patricia, I'm sick of people using mental illness as an excuse for everything. And Donald said marijuana is not drugs, but okay. Well, I mean, was it just marijuana? I don't know. I know people can well, I guess they weren't talking about crack. I really don't know. It was a very vague post, but I'm hoping someone is helping her. She needs help, and so does the husband. Definitely gonna keep this family in my prayers. So I don't think that Patricia was using mental illness as an excuse. I think it was just like she's considering that fact because it does play a role here.
Oh no, I was absolutely not. No. And I wasn't making excuses either. There is no excuse for what this lady has done. There's no excuse for what her family has done. There was a question out there about what she'd be diagnosed as. She already has a diagnosis. She's bipolar.
Well, didn't she also say she has borderline personality disorder too?
I'm not sure about that, but the facts are she is medically diagnosed bipolar.
Yeah, I've seen other people say that, but I didn't know she said
She
herself or not.
personally posted that she had BPD. I saw that.
She
on her
did.
page.
She did. I was just stating a fact. I am not in any way excusing what she's done.
I see what you're saying. That she said she did doesn't necessarily mean it's a diagnosis.
Yeah.
Well, if she really did write the statement that and I say like official statement like loosely because I don't really see it as official, but Savannah's calling it that. If she really did have that kind of attitude, maybe that's just kind of like her initial reaction to all. I mean, if she's getting trolled, like I have no doubt about that. I mean, like people thought her husband killed her, so like we probably have not even seen like the worst of what she's like. Y'all
People
said
are very angry. They're very angry.
Well,
I'm angry.
But here's the
I'm
thing.
not even there.
It's not just anger. It's not just anger. These people are actually like legit bullying and trolling. Can you just imagine being in her shoes and with the little tiny little piece of what you guys are seeing right now on that page of all those people talking all that shit about her? That's a little tiny piece of what she's had to deal with her entire life.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she even made a video where she was explaining how like people should not tell other people to kill themselves, and you could tell it obviously affected her enough to want to make a video about it.
Well, somebody had told her to kill herself, a friend of hers.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, a friend. Yeah. So,
and then other people jumped on that bandwagon and started telling her to kill herself. People she didn't even know.
And Matthew would tell her that too. That's something that her family needs to understand that, yes, okay, so she was definitely got her problems, but two wrongs don't make a right. And in the video, you can hear him, like, she was not telling him to say the stuff he was saying. Like, he did not have to tell her that she deserves to die, that he wishes that she were dead, and he means every word of it, that she's a dirty this, that, whatever. I mean, he did beg her to come back even after knowing she cheated. So to keep bringing that back up, it doesn't seem, that's not healthy either.
No. And my biggest heartbreak in those videos
The
was
kids.
him telling her that no adult and no child cared about her. And you can hear her
Oh my
child
God.
saying, I care about her. And he says, this is an adult conversation.
That
Or
kid.
when
This is
he
adult
said,
business.
if
That
you
was
left, it
horrible.
would be fantastic. And the little girl was like, it wouldn't be fantastic if you left.
That's just so
That was just
sad.
heartbreaking. So
Mhm.
even if he honestly was not, an abusive man, that right there was abuse to those children, and they don't deserve that.
For
That's
sure.
abuse to say to anybody. That's not an
Right.
okay thing to say to
No.
anyone.
No, I
Anyone,
agree, and I'm
ever.
not saying it
But
wasn't wrong of him to say to her, but
how
if you're
many
going
times
to
did
be
she
that
say it
person
to
and
him?
if
How
you're
many
going to say
times
those
did she
things to
threaten?
somebody,
So
sorry.
she posted repeatedly about how when somebody threatens to commit suicide, it doesn't matter whether you think they're telling the truth or not, you should take them seriously. I'm wondering how many times has she threatened? We know that she's tried at least once and failed. But how many times did she throw that in her family's face? I'm just
I
going to go
think
kill myself.
Yeah.
Well, of course,
regardless,
regardless, you don't
saying
ever
some
tell anybody to kill themselves, ever.
no,
But
but if
No.
she was saying it, just
Especially in front of his
even
daughter. Does he want his kids to get spouses that talk to them that way?
I don't
people
know if
don't
he
really
And
was.
think
well,
clearly when
they've
they're.
been up they had been up all night arguing about her cheating on him and possibly being a prostitute. So we don't know what was all said before the videos. Not saying it's an excuse to say that, but we don't know,
Right.
what went
But
on
this
before
was all
that.
said in front of the kids, and the point that I was trying to make is yes, it's wrong to say those things to somebody no matter what, but to at least keep that away from the children. I mean, come on.
Right. And that's why when people keep coming to Matt's defense and saying, well, she was antagonizing, you know what? She didn't have a gun to his head. There were many videos where she was in the corner. She was trying to have a discussion with him. And again, I'm not saying that she was doing anything right either. But when he would enter the room and stand over her, this was before the kids entered the room. This was in 2 videos. And they had plenty opportunity to shut the door. They could have shut the door. The little girl comes in there and the dad just is talking to her like in the middle of arguing with Ashley, and he had many chances to shut the door and said, look, mommy and I've heard him get after the kids. He could have said, mommy and I need to have a talk. Or he could have said, you know what, Ashley, I'm not going to talk to you until the kids go to bed. I mean, I've had to do it with my husband many times. Like,
Well, I'm thinking that was in the morning and they had probably been asleep and then they woke up and they were still fighting.
well, it takes 2 to tango, and people who
Yeah.
are acting like Ashley was like puppeteering him or something. That is ridiculous. Okay,
If anything,
Well, I mean, he wanted her to leave, and then whenever he would go to leave, she would say, "Oh, you want to leave them with me, but I don't feel safe to be with the baby."
well, at that
yeah, she
point,
did
then he could have called the police or something, or he still could have left the room. Sitting there and degrading her in front of the kids was not an option that he had to do.
Nobody was right in that situation. Neither one of them. I mean, I
Yeah,
think that's
I agree.
very, very clear.
It's just that people are like, okay, so people want to call her out. They need to call him out too.
I
And
think
I get
they
that his
are. I'm reading posts now where they're still supporting Ashley and
not
saying,
me. I'm reading the opposite. Like right now, this one from Michelle, I'm not going to say her last name. She was like, I guess Matt wasn't involved, was he? He was blamed so many times. So she's right about that. Then she says, he raised the kids, worked, and made sure they had a home and food. He has sole custody of the kids because Ashley was unfit. Okay, this is another thing. What a misconception. She was raising them. She was the one that was like reading to them, walking with them to parks, spending the amount of money he would have paid for a daycare. She was doing all that.
Mhm.
So I'm tired of people acting like just because he went and got a paycheck. I mean,
doesn't
well,
mean
that's
he's
a
a good person.
stay-at-home
Well, I mean,
mom stigma. That'll be around for a long time. Mom's jobs are just as important, but nobody ever sees that.
No, they don't.
no, and he would always tell her too to get off her butt and to go get a job. But does he not? I mean, I don't know if he was just saying that for the cameras. I don't know if he was just saying that to make her feel bad. But he's got to be aware of how expensive daycare is. Even if you're on like assistance, it takes all of your income. Like,
When
So-
she
he
was
wanted to
working
be.
from home, she was selling products online from home. So she was working.
Well, that's true. That is a form of working. But yeah, I haven't really seen anybody defending Ashley. Like, I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm just seeing an abundance
Oh,
of
it's
like,
few and far between, but it is happening.
I think what
And too,
happened
I
Mainly on
mean,
was
her
we don't
page.
know how involved in the kids' lives he was. I mean, he seemed to have pictures on his before he locked it down. A lot of his pictures were of his children on his profile
that's
too.
true.
And he works graveyard shifts, so he probably has to sleep during the day, part of the day.
I used to work graveyards, and I didn't sleep all
So
day.
somebody made a point that I'm reading, and they believe that when the car was pulled over, the reason why she ran is because she was probably under the influence herself and very,
Oh yeah,
drugged up, and it scared her away. And
I
that's
could
why
see
she didn't
that.
run to the police.
That's the only logical reason I can imagine why she'd run away. Why
Well,
else
why
would
didn't
she run away?
she get a hold of the police the day before? Because when she posted today saying she got her phone back yesterday, so that was an entire day that
They
she was
may have very
supposedly.
well kept her drugged up the entire time. We honestly don't know. So she could be lying, but she could be telling the truth at the same time. Depends on what happened that we don't know about.
Well, isn't this all speculation anyway?
Yeah.
And I mean,
Okay.
she could have been involved in stealing the truck and stealing the stuff, you know.
And she
So
could have
Yeah.
here's
been
Oh,
some
told.
absolutely.
positivity for Ashley, though. I'm reading here from Jamie. Glad she is safe. Now, with help, she can go about and get away from a bad situation. Together, neither couple were fit as parents, but with a separation, they can finally give their children the parents those kids need.
Crystal is live right now. The person doing the fundraiser for Shayla.
Oh.
I accidentally just clicked on it and it closed out of this, so sorry for that.
Oh, it's okay. Someone can play it, like if you're on another device and we can hear it, or I can play it.
I'm on only my phone, so someone else will have to.
Is it in the Shayla group?
Let me look. It says Shayla Nicole Anderson is live now with Crystal Brugensen. So I think it's probably on if you're friends with Shayla.
I'm not, but she usually makes everything public. So
Okay.
Shayla. Oh. Here we go.
Did you find it?
I found her page, but it's not. I'm not seeing a live stream, so
It might be in the group then.
The fundraiser group?
Yeah, probably. Well, in that girl Kiki's group, they're all trying to get it shut down and saying that it's a scam and stuff. So I'm assuming it's to address that possibly.
why do they think it's a
Yeah, I
scam?
guess there's two different stories going on.
Oh, they think it's a scam to get money.
Because she spent the money even though she was already behind.
Because she's been
I don't
being
know.
evicted since February, apparently, or something.
Well, Shayla went live and explained that she was hit by one of the hurricanes in September, and the landlord was supposed to fix a ton of stuff and didn't. So she was withholding rent until she fixed it. The landlord is her out now. If she had the money, she's trying to give it to the landlord wouldn't take it. But I guess
Oh,
Crystal and
wait, I see it.
Shayla told stories, so I don't know. I watched Shayla's. I didn't watch Crystal's original live.
Shayla's talking right now. She's live, and I have it here, and she's expressing a lot of frustration. Hold on, I'm gonna turn the volume up.
I shouldn't have to post proof or anything like that. Like, I gave up, I dropped everything at the drop of a dime, no matter what the circumstances was, because I thought a friend was in need or in danger. And y'all want to sit here and twist stuff up and, like, say this and say that. You know what? Go suck a big boy. This is why I love her.
So she's basically expressing frustration because people are accusing her of scamming.
Mm-hmm.
She just called KK out.
I have my own feelings on that. I mean,
So Now they're just
You've
kind of
got
talking
kids.
randomly. So I turned it off because they're laughing and talking about something else. But Courtney, you said, can you bring us up to date? So Ashley was found. She was found safe and alive. A certain family member said that she was actually found because of like a stolen vehicle that she was running out of and like a lot of stolen stuff. We don't know if she stole it, but and she was with a man. Y'all can say more detail if y'all want
Yeah,
it.
well, I had kind of had a theory maybe the cops weren't saying anything about her on their Twitter, but they were posting about all the stuff being stolen and a man with a stolen credit card. I was wondering, like, do they think she's involved with that maybe? I don't know, though.
From what it seems like, the crime rate there is pretty high as well.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
think that it probably could have like not been related whatsoever because there's so much shit going on there.
Yes, Courtney, she got medically checked out. She's actually in a mental hospital right now for obvious reasons. But like where they are is like people die from like drug overdoses like
Well,
in each county.
maybe she isn't in a mental hospital and the cops arrested her and she's in jail and her family is just saying she's in a mental hospital too, because I've only seen her family saying that.
I think
That's
she's probably in a mental
good
hospital,
theory.
honestly.
I mean, if she was caught in the possession of stolen goods and had her phone on her the whole time, more than likely she got arrested, I would think.
She
His
would go for
family
a
is
psych eval first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure she's
That's
okay,
tough.
but like I was saying, she probably is in police custody while being evaluated.
Oh yeah, you can't go through a psych evaluation in a lockdown facility and not be in custody. They lock you in. You do not get a phone. You do not get to talk to people.
I disagree with
And
that.
yeah.
I've been there.
I have too, and I wasn't locked down at all either time.
Oh, mine was. I didn't get to go anywhere.
I was in the facility, obviously, but I was able to be on the phone.
Nope, not
Take a
me.
shower.
No
Different
phone.
locations, different rules.
Yeah, I think
Couldn't
location,
leave.
age, all that.
Different states.
When I was 18, when I didn't actually OD, but I wasn't sure. Like I just swallowed a lot of pills, but I swallowed just enough that I knew wouldn't kill me. But I swallowed just enough, like for attention, like because I was really depressed. And what they ended up doing to me was like make me swallow charcoal for an hour, like vomiting out like with things down my throat. And then they handcuffed my hands and they handcuffed my ankles. Or not handcuffed, they cuffed my ankles because they told me that if I'm a harm to myself, I'm a harm to others. And my friend Kelly was crying and she was like, Rachel's not going to harm anybody. And they took me to a mental hospital and they deemed me like completely mentally fit, like, or mentally sane rather, like after just an hour of talking. And then they gave me the option to leave, but they wanted me to stay and I left. And that was that. But that was in Tennessee and I was 18 years old. So I'm sure it differs, like varies.
Has
I had to
anybody
stay a couple of days.
has anybody heard from Ashley's side boyfriend, side piece, whatever you want to call him?
Rodman?
We don't even know who he is. Oh,
Yes.
Rodman.
No, he said he wanted to come on. He has the link to come in here. So I don't know if it's conflicting with his schedule because he did say he could have done it earlier better, but
Maybe shoot him a message.
nope, he saw the link, so he might be listening right now. I don't know, but
Stacy, to answer your question, the sheriff has to enforce what the court order says. There's no lenience in that 24 hours. Unfortunately, his hands are tied.
is that what are we hearing right now? Is that
Oh my god.
Shayla?
I'm sorry, I thought I was muted. Yeah, I'm watching Shayla's live.
Oh no, it's fine actually.
I don't know if you can.
Jen says you can go up to Williamsburg, Virginia. I was actually looking at Williamsburg.
I don't know what they're talking about so far. It's just.
Sounds like they're trying to figure out where she's gonna go.
And Fairfax, and because the resources are better there for him.
Yeah, it looks like people are still trying to raise money for Shayla.
And my mom lives in Maryland, so it's not far out. Like she's literally like an hour or so out.
Can we talk about her and what happened with her and being out there and searching and
My son left his Batman mask and it has like the light up thing. Like,
I'm trying to pause this. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, what did you ask? Sorry.
I said, can we talk about Shayla and what she went through? The
Yeah.
fact that she was out there with her children looking for her friend.
Yeah, so Shayla is I don't know how long she's known, maybe y'all do. I don't know how long she's known.
She said
16 years.
16 years.
Okay, that's a pretty long time. So she's known, and then there's someone in the chat who went to grade school with Ashley, and Shayla's known her for a really long time, and she was one of the only people, like, this is the birth of this entire situation where, like, the news wouldn't talk about it. Nobody online was talking about it except some Facebook groups. Police weren't saying a word, and Shayla came forward, and she was really kind of putting her time and her safety on the line because they were crazy trolls like going after her, and she was ready to go on foot looking, like her veins were popping out of her neck. She was like really into this.
No, she
And
did go on foot looking with her
okay,
children.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she talked about having to mentally prepare her 7-year-old in case they found her friend's body. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's. And so I'm hoping that the attitude from that statement that Savannah posted, I'm hoping that that kind of subsides and that there's a little more compassion here because
Yeah.
Amanda
At least
asked,
to
I just
her.
came in. Has anyone said if those texts from her phone and those posts to her Facebook were her? Like, do
No
we
one
actually?
has said anything that I've seen. I don't know if we know. I mean, we know that she's had her phone, so it
Well,
was either
according to
her
her
or whoever she
story,
was with.
if her story is true, it wouldn't have been able to be her because according to her newest story, her update is that she just got her phone yesterday.
Yeah, her
Well-
family got text messages on the 8th, Monday or Sunday.
So I guess you could maybe
Yesterday.
think that whoever she was with posted that to deflect.
So it's still it's questionable. There is no answer that's, it isn't what it is,
I think there's going to be a lot that's going to pop up in the next like week to 2 weeks. Like so many, because I mean, I'm not going to fib. Like I truly, wholeheartedly thought she was dead. Like I would have these little visuals of her running home into her kid's arms and like being alive, and then I would be like, "That's stupid. Like she's not alive." So like at this point, I don't put anything past me, like past this situation. Who knows who was
I don't
sending those
even-
texts? Who knows who this
Yeah,
mystery
I didn't
guy is?
expect her to be alive either. I really didn't.
I had nightmares about it because I was thinking about it so much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad she is. I really am glad. And like I said, when all this blows over, I'll try to reach out to her. And just let her know that there are people still there for her. But
Yeah.
Yes, we all
I'm
should
not.
because she needs to be empowered, and so does Matt. Matt needs healthy friends too. I mean, it doesn't sound like he has the healthiest of friends. So everybody needs to be empowered in this situation. They have 3 young kids who depend on them and them only. And so it's not going to help if we're just kicking them down. So everybody deserves chances. And Donald said her friends and family worried because it was not her character to disappear and knowing her situation was at a critical level. But people are saying that she actually did make a habit of vanishing.
Not the first time.
And
It
that's
wasn't
why
the first time, only for like a night. But I could see that's why police didn't want to really take it seriously, considering the phone calls they had got.
Right. And who knows? Who knows what actual like other pings they might have gotten to indicate she's alive? Maybe they were like actually like maybe Matthew gave police her password. So maybe like they had some private investigator who was actually monitoring every little, because on Facebook it'll say like your activity. Like if you go to my activity, it'll show every little thing that you're liking, looking at, Googling. Who knows? Like maybe.
But it was said that nobody knew her password or her login for anything.
Well, Facebook, I'm sure, would let them into her account. Or let that, yeah. Did I say that right, man?
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of sleep.
No, you made sense. And actually, like, the thing is, though, is like, unless she changed her password, and some of the videos when they would be fighting, she would yell at him and say, "You always check my shit." She'd be like, "You check my messages, you get on my shit," and he
He
would be
probably
like,
just gets on her phone and looks at it.
I know that he turned it off all the time.
"So who found this Meet Me page thing?" Because Meet Me is not like something you just like stumble across. Like that's something you actually like.
I don't
I
think
mean,
anyone found it. I
The
think
I think the
post
guy
that I
himself
found, the
posted
guy
that.
posted them. Yeah, the guy posted the screenshots himself. Like he
he was
stumbled
the one that
upon
talked to her.
her. Yeah.
I'm
The
So
wondering.
person that
that
shared them was the person that talked to her.
Is he like a random guy, or does he know them? Maybe
That's what I'm
it
He
was
saying.
just
lives
a
knew
random
her
in
and
guy.
Vegas.
He said that somebody told him what she was doing, and he was reaching
Okay.
out to try to
I
talk
have
to
them. I
her.
can send them to chat real quick.
Because it just
So
seemed
you can look at
coincidental.
them.
Well,
Like,
I'm
He
how
said
wondering
would
he
somebody
stumbled
maybe
who
on
just
the
like
story and that he had just talked to her, so he wanted to have proof that he had just spoken to her on the 25th, right before she went
okay.
missing.
So
maybe
Amanda
her
said,
husband saw that, and had a suspected she was doing it, so maybe he had somebody he knows message her to see if it was true.
Like I said, I think her husband found out that night when he turned that Wi-Fi on that phone.
Because somebody, I'm not going to say who if they don't want to know, talked to him, and he said she had two phones. One was a prepaid phone, and one was the phone that he had on his account.
Yeah, he took away the one he had. That's the one the kids wanted to play games on.
No, that one is the one she had with her. He said her prepaid phone didn't have any money on it, and he was using the one on his account.
I was the one that talked
That's
to him.
weird.
And when I messaged him, God, and now I kind of feel guilty about it because everyone was pointing at him for what happened. And I'm not saying in any way he wasn't accountable for the way that he treated her, but I did talk to him and I kind of worded things in a way that maybe I could get some answers from him. But at one time I asked him, hey, I've got screenshots, but I said, hey, I saw in some posts that Ashley had a second phone. And he said, yeah, she got a prepaid phone. And then I asked him, I worded it a little bit differently before, but I had said, basically I asked if she took both of them. And he said that the prepaid phone didn't have money on it. And then he said she took both of them. And then I said, oh, well, I was, trying to give you, maybe you could find the other phone and look for a way to get into her Facebook and maybe figure out who took her that night. And he stopped messaging me back.
Well, how many phones do they have? Because there was quite a few in his life. He was on one.
I don't know.
There was one on the table.
Yeah, and in that message, he first said, yes, she took both phones. And then he, immediately after that, he said, I assume because I can't find the other one.
Weird.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
wasn't her family and his family there with them too? So those could have been anybody's phones, really.
well, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. This is crazy.
yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where I wake up in the morning and I'm like, wait, she was found alive yesterday.
Yeah, we're gonna think about this forever.
Yeah, and then this is gonna make me a little, honestly, it's gonna make me a little more open-minded, like in these situations, because I was completely like, I was telling people in our little group chat, I was like, no, I know he killed her. I was like, I know it.
Yeah.
Like,
Everything pointed to him, but I think she wanted it that way. And I don't necessarily blame her. Because if everything was as it seems it is, he was very abusive and she wanted out.
so
But at the
so
same
what if he had
time,
actually been like in trouble? Like, what if he had been arrested or like?
I don't know. I'd hope that maybe then she'd come forward, but
It just
I don't
shows you
know.
people are put away when they're innocent.
Mm-hmm.
We aren't in that relationship. We don't know what she feels. We can see what she says, but I think she felt very strongly.
Just so weird. It's so weird that she didn't speak out because she was kind of like she would just impromptu just get online, just go live. Like she was super expressive. I've said this a lot, and it's true though. Like that's why I thought Matthew was the one messaging from her phone because
she stopped.
yeah, and then the messages that they said that they did receive, that family did receive, it was just like I'm gonna have to cancel plans, or else it was like I'm sorry, I love you. That was it, and like that just was out of character for her. Like she was like super talkative, like so it just so I'm wondering. I want to know the reason I want to know the real reason that she didn't, because I don't feel like it was because someone was not letting her talk. That just doesn't make sense.
No.
Maybe she thought she'd get him in trouble or something. I don't know. Or
But then wouldn't it make sense
saw
to
the
talk at that
attention.
point? Like, hey, y'all, I fucked up. Like, she was really good at admitting I fucked up. Like, why not? That's the perfect time to say I fucked
Well,
up.
I mean, you can
Unless
see
she
the
wanted
difference
to be in
between
trouble.
them. Like, he locked his stuff down. He didn't want random people looking at all his stuff, and she just left her whole Facebook open all the time, you know? She liked
I
having
think if he
attention,
would,
maybe. I don't know.
that's crossed my mind too. Like, I mean, she talked about how nobody cared about her, how she didn't have any friends, how she was alone. What if she felt that people actually cared when all of this was happening? You have people all over the world. I mean, granted, there were a lot of people that were only in it for the entertainment and talking shit, but there were people that actually cared. Like, we discussed getting a search party together from the West Coast. I'm in Idaho. And we talked about getting people to go over there. I talked to my husband about it. We talked about he would keep the kids while I went and did that and searched for
I'm
Ashley. So there are
exactly
these people.
963 miles away. I seriously considered it myself.
Yeah, and there's all these people that are considering all this, and maybe for a little while she felt like people actually gave a shit about her.
Yeah, and like we were sending messages to news stations and stuff, trying to
Yeah.
get people to help.
So how long were those videos up on her page of like the fights with her husband? Because I didn't see them till after she went missing.
On
Are
Thursday,
they
I think
gone?
she posted them, and someone said she deleted one of them, the first one that had like bruises and stuff in it.
There's been a
Where
couple
she's in her
deleted.
shorts.
Because I'm wondering
again.
how did someone not report these to like the county or something? Like if I posted videos like that on my page, like somebody would immediately be like,
Oh, I'm sure the
I'm
police
sure
saw
they
it
were
immediately.
reported. Yeah.
okay. Because the case I was talking about, or I still talk about it with Caitlin Nicole Davis, one of the biggest problems in that case was CPS would come to the house and they never took Caitlin out of the home and her siblings out of the home. So I'm wondering if this was kind of something similar, like if this domestic stuff kept going on and CPS there was just stupid. And
yeah, well, I mean, there'll probably be a CPS investigation now.
Matt's family stated there had already been one, and he had been advised to take the kids to his aunt's house for whatever while he worked, so that she could watch them while he worked, is what was said. But it was said that they were already there, he was investigated and cleared. That was said by a family member of his. Troy Reason's wife, Sarah, actually is the one that said that.
And they're both cousins, or Troy is a cousin?
That's that's still up in the air. Nobody wants to claim them.
Interesting.
Her family is still saying that they don't know who he is, and as a matter of fact, I don't know that they're related to him either, because his family was confused as to who he was too. They were pointing fingers saying that he was related to Ashley's side of the family. Ashley's side of the family completely denies it. They don't know who he is, according to them.
What? That is weird.
We found out the Stephen Douglas and Jillian Fuentes, who also claim.
Oh no! Pardon me. I just got my facts confused. Pardon me. It was Stephen Douglas. They were claiming they didn't know, but somebody was saying he was related.
Yeah, he had.
Sorry, not Troy Reason.
He had information that even Matt's side of the family was questioning, because they were like, how does he know this? Only family is supposed to know this. And the same with Jillian Fuentes, which she disappeared
right?
Someone said maybe that was Ashley.
I don't think
It
so.
has
Not
been
based.
speculated that it was Ashley's sock account, so that she was able to watch
believe
all
it.
of this.
Not the way that things were worded, not the way the person talked.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know. I
believe it
don't.
either.
I don't either.
You
Just as
can
much as I
change
don't.
the way you type stuff, though.
Well, I mean, she wouldn't have
But
to
with
change her identity unless she wanted to comment. If she just wanted to watch and spectate, and she wouldn't have to say anything.
And this Stephen Douglas's account has been active for a few years.
Yeah, like 2009 or
Well,
something.
I mean,
Yeah,
my
and the
fiance has several fake accounts that he's had for years.
Do you honestly think
I don't
somebody
know.
would have started? I don't know, 2009 though. That's a long time. I started my account in 2009. And I've only have the one.
And the way that things were worded in it doesn't, yeah, you can fake bad grammar and punctuation and spelling, but I don't think you can fake it the other way around. And just the way that things are worded, it was much different than the way that Ashley talked in her Facebook posts. I truly don't believe Stephen Douglas or Jillian were her.
No.
Yeah, I don't either. And if she is listening, if she ever comes across this, I just hope that she knows that we all have made mistakes and that suicide's not the answer. And, we're going to forget. Everybody's, if they clean up their act, because nobody's perfect, everybody's going to end up not forgetting, but they're not going to focus on that. They're going to focus on the good. It's I just don't want her to.
It doesn't have to be her defining moment. This doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be your identity. I mean, we've all done effed up things, whether on purpose or not. We all have skeletons, and I don't want her to. We have critiqued. Yes, I thought her husband killed her. Some people thought she was going to kill herself, etc.
Yeah.
Yes, she shouldn't have left her kids. I mean, but again, we've all done things we shouldn't do. I just don't want her to. I want her to know we've already forgiven her. So her kids have already forgiven her. Everything's okay. She can move on, but it does depend on what kind of birds she just decides to flock with, because that does matter. So this Savannah person to me seems a little toxic. There were pictures that she took online although some people think that Ashley knew about these pictures that she was taking with her, in the same room as her husband when she was missing. It was very weird. Certain friends of hers, I wouldn't be okay having, but yeah. I just wanted to put that out there that, we are judging. It's natural to judge a situation if you care about it. So we're judging, and it's our right to judge, and it's everybody's right to judge us. But that's not her identity. So
I would like to say too, if she's worried about this following her for the rest of her life, you see daily the stories that go viral and then disappear within days. No one talks about it anymore.
Exactly.
So someone said that Ashley's profile was active on Facebook 10 minutes ago. So
I just want her to know too that if she feels like I said, if this is something that she feels is going to haunt her for the rest of her life, I guarantee if it stops as it is right now, no one's going to talk about it in a few weeks.
Exactly. I mean, look at Kris Jenner. He actually does not deserve how he's been treated. I feel like he's been treated too good, but he killed somebody, recklessly driving, looking at his phone, killed somebody, and nobody talks about it. Nobody cares. And then that just goes to show.
Idea.
Yeah, most people
I don't even think he went to jail.
Oh my God.
This was
Hell,
not that
I didn't even know about it.
because people don't care. I mean, I could put out Kim Kardashian had a sex tape, and people don't think of her as that anymore. People now think of her as just a Kardashian. I don't know why my brain went to the Kardashians, but I mean,
look for the sex tape.
I guess because they're they're on TV all the time, and even the crazy things they do, people forget about. People care more about how you make them feel than the things you've done. That's just how we are. So yeah. Because sometimes, when I get off here, when I'm done on YouTube or I'm done on Facebook, I immediately feel kind of sick to my stomach because I feel oh my God, what if I make someone feel bad? What if they come across, what if they feel we've bashed them? But no, this is a really interesting case. Humans are interesting. I want answers. Everybody wants answers. There are little kids involved. I am super elated that she's alive. Like, I still can't believe it in a way. And it's just not, it's going to be a really long time before the conversation dies down about this. And I think even when we get answers, we're still going to have more questions.
Yeah.
This is a future Lifetime movie, I think.
I agree with that, actually.
It really is. And if her Facebook page is showing active, then I mean, how does it work in jail? Like, can you get on, like, I've never actually like seen in a
No.
jail. You can't get on.
Yes,
No, you don't get to Facebook in jail.
You do, actually. You can go, you pay for it, at least here.
If you're there long enough, she would have just been booked. She hasn't gotten commissary money on her books, none of that.
No.
She's not Facebooking from jail, I can
if
assure
anything.
you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you can't go on Facebook here in jail.
You can in jail, but not in holding. In holding, you can't. But once you're in jail after holding,
It depends on what
definitely
jail
have to-
too. I've been in a couple jails. They didn't allow me to Facebook.
Yeah, how do you go on Facebook in jail? They have like computers there with the internet.
Well, like you can rent tablets, I think.
Oh my god.
Like I watched that 60 Days In show and he was totally on Facebook.
Really?
At our local,
Yeah, he rented a tablet or something from commissary.
we've
And so
got
he was
actual
loud.
computers in the jail here that you can get on.
Oh, yeah. See, I know.
Wow, that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I hope she
that's
gets the
how
proper...
people have people killed like while they're in jail.
But she's definitely not Facebooking from the holding tank, if that's where she's at.
Yeah, no, holding, you're cut off from everything.
One of the main reasons too, not just because of suicide, but for other reasons that I hope she has really good like assistance when she is like free is, or you know, when she's out of jail, because I know she's going to spend some jail time, or I think anyway, is because she's right now got so much vulnerability. Like, do you know how many men? Because, okay, and the reason I say this is because the Caitlin Nicole Davis case, the mother who witnessed her daughter hanging, that mother who had no support, no help, her dad killed himself when she was little, et cetera, et cetera. The mother had a horrible upbringing. Nobody helped her after. To this day, she's had no assistance, no help. She's been homeless, sleeping in a car. Nobody has helped her. And I don't want to see that play out the same way with these people. They have little kids too. Luckily, in Caitlin's case, the siblings at least got to go stay somewhere safe. She's going to be so vulnerable. Do you know how many disgusting men out there, and maybe women, I don't know, are going to see this girl, oh, she was prostituting herself online. Oh, she's still going to need somebody. Like, they're going to see that vulnerability and they're going to take advantage, and it's really going to steer her in the wrong direction. That's why I'm hoping that she's going to get...
Yeah, that she doesn't go. That she understands that she doesn't have to go for that.
That's what I'm worried about, because as soon as certain kinds of people see like, oh, well, someone's in trouble, they're like in the doghouse and they were like selling their body, they like completely take advantage of people like her.
I didn't even think about that.
That's
at all.
This stuff about Shayla is getting interesting.
Is there still stuff going on?
So I don't know this is fact because I'm just reading what somebody said, but in the live video, apparently Shomi needs $1,100 more because from however much they've already sent, because she had to get new tires and an oil change to get to South Carolina.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's real life though, because I'm just reading somebody else's post.
No.
Who's needing the money? That's about Shayla?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't know, but I'm not in there and I don't know who said that. Who said that?
Somebody named Brandy in a Facebook group.
Okay.
Which group was it?
Well, I'm not gonna say it on here.
Okay. I'll find it.
I don't. Is the live still going on, or did they go off of the live?
It's not live anymore now.
I mean, if it's on the live, someone could listen to it and find out.
It's not showing up live for me, but remember when that Caitlin girl posted that she was pretty sure that she rode the bus with
I
Ashley?
think she was talking about in school as a
Yeah,
kid.
that's what I
Oh,
Rode
got
the
it
okay.
bus with her.
Okay. I was gonna say because I don't know how she got to Florida. Does anybody know how she got there?
She
Who?
wasn't in Florida. Ashley?
Yeah, I heard that she was going to Florida. She didn't go to Florida?
From what I know, she was found in a county right next to Lexington, and it started with an A. I can't remember right now, but it was literally a neighboring county next to Lexington, which I'm questioning that because supposedly when they pinged her phone, they said that she was not in Lexington County and she was not in any of the neighboring counties, which the county she was found in was literally right to the bottom left of Lexington.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Savannah knew she was okay or was in contact
sure.
with her or something.
Yeah.
Because why say you're going to be at the arena and then
not be there?
Shayla and that other chick went and found her because they went to go search her neighborhood and they saw that she was at Matt's house hanging out with him.
I don't understand that.
Aiken County is where she was found.
Aiken, yes, Aiken.
Yeah, and
and
that's
it's the
what,
bottom
45
left
minutes
Lexington.
away?
It's very close.
Oof. I'm still reading some very vicious comments from people. I mean, some of it is like tough love, I guess you could say, but a lot of it is just sheer bullying. It's not going to help.
I mean,
A lot of it.
I do.
Do what?
Go ahead.
Ian?
Well, a lot of it will just be, the initial anger after, finding out that somebody was missing, for their own accord. Sorry.
Well, yeah, because in a way it kind of feels like we were bullied. It's like somebody was like playing with our emotions and it's like major mind effing. Like,
I mean, my husband even asked me when we were talking about it, and he was getting so sick of me talking about it. And he was like, "Are you going to be mad if she's found and she's fine?" And originally I said no, because if she's trying to escape from an abusive relationship and this is what she needs to do to get out, I'm not going to be mad. But that was like 5 days ago.
yeah.
And now that I know that she's had her phone the entire time, that's what's upsetting. And she had people, like, even over here, we were trying from the West Coast to get over there. She has people over there that have spent money to find her. She's had her family, which I'm still not even convinced isn't involved. But she's had these people like upset trying to find her. And all she could have done is sent a simple text saying that she was okay.
Well, she's saying that she couldn't remember. So I'm really hoping that her story about that is compelling because otherwise.
I don't believe it. Because I think if you had your phone taken from you for days and then you got it back and this person that took it from you had been arrested and you were able to find help, why didn't you find help at all until you were pulled over by a cop and then you ran?
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't run when you're trying to get away from
help.
someone who's holding you hostage.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
if that all happened yesterday, I'm wondering maybe she thought the cops were gonna bust her right then and there, so she sent her mom and them messages saying, "I'm sorry, I love you," or something, and then she didn't get caught until today.
True. So someone in the group said,
Well, I mean, I don't really know when she was found, but I'm assuming it was today.
Yeah, it was today at 4:30 p.m.
I saw there were some 420 jokes involved in that.
Well, didn't she send her text message yesterday at 4:32? That's like kind of a coincidence.
Oh my lord. My lord.
What is real life?
Hey man, you're harshing my mellow.
Yeah, and she was found in a green shirt with green shoes. Yeah. Well, someone posted.
I went to Walmart and got different clothes.
maybe she did change her look. Like, I'm wondering because, like I said, I don't put anything past anything at this point. So, like, because I still feel like she's dead. Like, I feel like I'm gonna wake up and this is just all a dream I had. And like, who knows? Maybe because she did like to change her hair color. Maybe she doesn't even look the same. Maybe the man she was with is actually really a woman. Like like who knows? I don't
Well,
put anything.
I mean, if she had her ID with her, maybe she had money and stuff too. She didn't take her purse that
Yeah.
they knew of, but maybe she did take other stuff with her.
People are
Has
saying
anyone
she had
even
like 17 grand.
Yeah,
Has anyone entertained that
she said it.
if those messages were real on the Meet Me app, that she had $17,000 and she was saving it and she was giving it to her mom when her mom would come down and visit. She was giving her large sums of cash to go put into a bank account. So who's
Where-
to say that with her mom coming down here? I mean, I'm just speculating, obviously, with what I've seen online, but who's to say that when her mom came down here and then she left abruptly, what if she left, somehow gave Ashley money, and then left again? If we're going to base it off of what those messages say on the Meet Me app, her mom was 100% aware of what she was doing for that money, and her mom was helping her hide it.
Wait, do we have reason to think her mom was aware?
She
She
said
says
it in
she
the
is.
messages.
What did
said
she
her
say?
mom was hiding this money. She said she was, so in that message, she said that she was making money off of sexual favors in the Meet Me app. Someone accused her of it. She didn't deny it. And then she said that she had made $17K. And then the person asked how she was hiding it. And she basically, I'm not going to quote it because I don't have them in front of me, but she was saying basically that when her mom came down to visit her and her kids, that she was giving the money that she had made off of basically prostituting, which I'm not judging. She was doing what she needed to do, but she was giving that money to her mom, and her mom was either putting it into an account or hiding it. I don't remember exactly, but that money was being transferred from her to her mom. And if it's true, then, and her mom and the person even asked her in those messages, does she know what you're doing? And she said, yeah. And she knows that I was a dancer before. So if
That's
her mom
crazy.
knows, it's on that Meet Me app, and it's some dude named Eric that apparently was talking with her, and he even said before she was found that he'd be willing to talk to law enforcement about what he knew.
That would make sense too that she would make her mother keep it because according to her, like Matt was really controlling when it came to money. Yeah, like bank accounts and things like that.
So if
So
that's all true, why would you have any reason not to believe that maybe her mom knew what was going on? And that would make sense why everyone was so quiet. Why her family didn't really talk much, and the only people talking were Matt's family.
So who were the ones
And I
then
mean,
that set up that first page where they were like actually wanting people to look and then they, shifted all of a sudden?
which page? Because the Find Ashley Rabon page that
That
was
one.
not a group, that is her family.
So
That
who
one's
do you
her
know
family.
which family member was behind it?
Brittany.
Her sister.
Okay, that would make sense because I was gonna say if the mom was behind it, why would she even start it to begin with if she already knew where she was?
Her mom had also posted some
Well-
things about it. Like at one point, April posted on Ashley's account saying, "Who is on my daughter's account? This isn't funny."
And I can't remember, but I don't remember. I think possibly a Facebook group was made first, and then they made that Facebook blog to do like official updates. I think that's what happened.
Where's Ashley group was made first, the one that Shayla directly calls out in her video.
No,
that was the second
the
one.
Courtney group was first. The Courtney group was
Oh
first.
yeah,
So
there's two Where's Ashley groups.
Then there was
They
the
both
group that I
changed
was
their names
admin
now,
of,
though.
and that was second.
Mm-hmm.
So there was two, and now there's like a ton. But what I'm confused about is why, and now I've kind of felt a little bit bad because when I was adminning that second group, no one had told me they wanted anything shut down. I was trying to keep negative comments at bay, but there was over 1,000 people and only 2 admins.
Oh my goodness.
So it was hard to keep it under control, and I've got 2 kids, and I was trying to keep it under control, and then it all happened really quickly, but I had Cassandra tell me that someone was messaging her saying that she had asked to have it shut down, and that they had messaged me, and I saw the screenshot saying that person had messaged me, but I didn't see anything, and I realized now that my Facebook was being weird, and I did get the message, and I messaged her as soon as I got it, but they wanted that Facebook shut down. I tried to get it shut down. I think it's weird that all of a sudden they wanted everything shut down when they didn't care before.
That was very weird to me, and I was one of the people that was, like, adamant that she was dead, and even there was that part of my logical brain that was like, "Well, why does the family if they think she's if I think she's dead, like, why does the family suddenly not want people to search for her anymore?" Like, that shows me they must know something.
That's kind of how I felt. At first, I felt bad, and I was like, well, if the
And
family wants it shut down, we should get it shut down. And I feel like even Cassandra and I were, I don't know why they wanted it shut down now that I think about it. I tried my best to get it shut down.
It was like, so it was Shayla and Crystal who were saying they wanted it shut down. The family wanted it shut down. But I noticed that a lot of Matt's family had been going in there and giving information out, and I don't know if that's why they wanted it shut down. I mean, there were a lot of really nasty comments going on too, and I deleted some of them. But
I think
personally
they
feel
started
like
to
maybe
fuss
his
about it about the
family.
time the information started being shared out of that group.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like I was taken advantage of. Like, I was admitting this group, trying to help, trying to find her. Cassandra and I were doing everything that we could, reaching out to news stations and everything. And then suddenly, the shit needs shut down. And I'm not going to disrespect their family, so I did my best.
Now Crystal and Shayla are raising $2,000 for her. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of, I just saw a picture in our group chat where it says, "Where's the GoFundMe for Matt and his family?" Oh, that's right, there isn't one, just one for Ashley and Shayla.
But I will say that originally Ashley's family asked that there be no GoFundMe page. They didn't want money raised.
Yeah,
so
that
But didn't
shows
they
they
start one? I thought somebody said they started one.
it was for a reward. So someone started a $5,000 GoFundMe for reward for any like valid evidence.
Huh.
So it was a
and
GoFundMe
even Shayla
started.
in her video is saying, "Don't start a GoFundMe for Ashley's family."
Oh wow, I didn't see
Blah blah
that.
blah. They should be the one to start it.
Yeah, she did say that. And Matt's family commented that there should be no GoFundMe started.
Well, why did they need money? I mean, originally we wanted to start a GoFundMe to help search parties. Like, I even talked to Shayla way before, and I messaged her one night and I said, what can we do about getting some type of GoFundMe together to fly people out from the West Coast? Like, I know that we've got a ton of people that want to make it that way, but I've got 2 kids. We live on one income. I can't afford it, but I'm willing to put the manpower in to get over there and help, but I can't afford it. So I talked to her about getting a GoFundMe going for that, and she told me it wasn't needed, that we shouldn't do something like that.
Yeah, and I thought it was a bit dishonest when they first started their whole raising money for her, because they were saying she's getting evicted because she went on there to look for Ashley, but it turns out there's this whole other story of she was already getting evicted.
Yeah, that's what's weird about it, is originally it started out as she's getting evicted, and that raised some red flags for me because I've worked in property management, and I know that you can't get evicted like that. And I think that what happened was people started calling her out for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Crystal did that live video explaining that before the eviction, she already hadn't paid some things, and her landlord was a slumlord. So
Yeah,
I do feel on some level.
I feel bad for her situation, but I feel like they're also using this whole thing kind of to their advantage to get money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
they know that thousands of people watching.
I'm sure she feels terrible that her friend did this to her, but if she has kids that she needs to take care of, she shouldn't have spent all her money to come down there.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, what was the plan after? You know what I mean?
that doesn't make
Like,
sense.
what were you gonna do? How is the money getting replaced? You still had to have the money, right? But their explanation is that Shayla thought she had more time, so I don't know if she was
Yeah,
gonna try to
but I
make the
mean,
money back. What I'm reading is it says that she left with $1,000. She has raised $500 so far, and they're asking that another $1,700 be raised to help relocate her.
It concerns me because I understand she's your best friend, as you say, and you want to help her. But if you've got 4 kids, those kids come first. You don't drop everything you have, as well as the money that you have, to make sure your kids have a home, to find them.
I heard she was already in a bad situation before the case, though.
yeah,
She
and
was.
Well,
I
She
she
was
mean,
said she
already.
had been withholding rent because she was affected by the hurricane and everything was flooded and there was
Oh.
mold.
but
And so
she's
she was
And then
withholding her
that
rent. She
money.
said she had the rent. She was just holding on to it until these repairs were made, which were never made.
and she had already been helped by FEMA, but she says that her landlord threatened to evict her if she didn't come back and live there and pay her rent.
Right.
And then she supposedly paid it, and then the landlord evicted her anyway, which, whatever. If that shit's happening and you have money saved, which she said she had it saved, but that's what she spent, and now she's asking for that money to move, I just personally feel that that's kind of a shitty way to get that money. I feel that she's using Ashley's disappearance as a way to raise funds. I'm not in any way invalidating the shitty situation she's in, but if I had kids, even I talked to my husband about it. Even if my best friend since I was 14 went missing and we had to make the decision of paying rent or paying money to go find her, we'd pay rent or we'd do whatever we had to keep our kids under
Yeah.
a roof.
We'll see how it unfolds. We'll see if because she said she didn't even want that. Like she said she didn't want that page, but that girl who set it up was insisting. So maybe
But then why'd she do the live video defending her stance? I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I mean they're sending the money directly to her, so she's taking the money. She gave
because she was
her
accused of
Cash App
scamming.
code and everything. So,
But there's also no way to trace how much money she's getting. If it's getting sent directly to her, we can't say how much money people have sent to her. What if,
Well,
I don't
according
know.
to this, it's been $500 so far.
yeah, and I kind of called them out. I said, why are you deleting comments when people are asking what the situation is? Because there's no way that the whole story is that she didn't pay her rent on the 1st and they're evicting her in 24 hours. That's not the way the laws work.
And then that's
And
when she
then
went
they
live.
posted the video after I said, if you're going to be asking people for money, you need to have some transparency on what's going on.
Well, yeah, that is true. So I'm looking more into the last thing that Ashley Nicole said, and this is what I keep looking at over and over is when she says the cops say I'm lying because this guy has another story, but then she says even though he got arrested yesterday, why would the cops believe somebody they just arrested? Like it doesn't. Why would they believe his story over hers when he's not even free? Like he's arrested. Like I don't know.
Because it doesn't make sense that if she was being held against her will, why would she stay there and send weird text messages to her friend for a whole night and then get found in the house by herself with her phone with a bunch of stolen shit,
She's
Excuse
trying to
my
cover her
language.
ass. She's trying to cover her ass, and she's trying to say that she was held captive through all of this.
Well, she says she's traumatized, so I mean, her kids are probably traumatized too.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone believes what she says at this point, then I can't tell you how to live your life. That's how I feel about it.
But she had posted so many times weeks before this asking how people disappear. She just wants to be hit by a bus.
She says I would never
all
leave
those
kids
people
like
who
that.
disappear, where did they go? I wonder. emoticons.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then she posted about having this plan, and she'd been talking to a lawyer, and that she wasn't going to talk to these people because her lawyer advised her not to. That she had this plan to leave, which, given her circumstances, she was in a very abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand why she wanted to leave. But when it got to the point that it did, where she had friends searching for her, spending their money. And I'm still fully convinced that her mom was involved in this whole thing.
You should message her boyfriend Rodman again and see if he was gonna come on still.
So I'm going
Yeah,
to
you
use.
should find Rodman.
I'll send him a voice thing real fast. Hold on. Hi, Rodman. I'm live right now broadcasting, and I'm just seeing one last time if you wanted to join tonight. You can always join another time if tonight's not a good night anymore. All right. So he did get the link. So we'll see. But there's always tomorrow and any other time. But yeah, I just can't stop staring at her statement.
I don't know. There were those psychic groups that were going around, and someone had actually shared a picture of Rodman, and they shared a picture of him and thought that maybe he was involved. But I think the only reason at that point that they thought that maybe he was involved was because of the way her post was written, and they assumed that it was a person of African American descent. So they looked for that, found Rodman, and then I actually started searching Rodman's page, and there was a lot of interactions between him and Ashley that were like, God, that sounds so dumb saying it, but it was stuff that he posted and she loved, and then posts between both of them, and it seemed like something weird was going on, and then I kind of just left it at that, and no one had ever talked about Rodman until that Dateline article, and then all of a sudden he was involved in it.
Yeah, because he was one of the last people to see her in person.
Which I thought it was kind of crazy because we had talked about that,
Yeah.
3 or 4 days ago, whenever that was, when we first were like, oh, I wonder if
Yeah,
this is
and
her
we were sharing
boyfriend or something.
pictures and looking shit up, and I don't think it even went outside of our group because I didn't see anything on any of the Facebook pages about him other than that psychic page.
When I was looking stuff up on Matthew, there were like pictures of like sexy girls he had like commented on and liked and stuff, but it went like that. Those were like as far back as like 2010, so like that doesn't even matter. But like I did notice that he was very fatherly, and I did this today. Like, for instance, like on a post that would be about like show me your deadliest weapon, like a bunch of guys would show pictures of like their knives or their guns, and he like showed a picture of his son's like lightsaber toy and was like, this is my son's lightsaber toy. Like that was kind of like the common theme of a lot of his comments. If you type in comments by Matthew Rabon, was they were always kind of like kid oriented, which again makes me feel really bad because, well, I don't know. He still needs to work on things, but
yeah, I feel like he wasn't really as bad of a dad as she was saying he was.
I want to rewatch the videos that I saw when I watched them with a bias. Like, I want to see them with a new, fresh perspective because the call video, it was the first one I saw of Ashley, and I just immediately wanted to like take her under my wing and like yell at the cop. And so like at that point I just had like this bias that was like,
I do wonder too that if the cops have to be pretty pissed off because there's got to be thousands of people that are accusing them of not following through with their investigation and claiming bias because of that cop that was fired. I mean, even personally, I assumed that cop was involved.
Me too.
I mean, you lose your job and you've got a family and you've got kids in a small town over, not that I'm saying she's like, based on the way that he talked to her, he thought that she was nothing. So if you've got like this cop, and in a small town, small cops have a big, I mean, I lived in a small town of like 300 people. Cops have a huge control of everything.
They do.
So I could,
And who knows what all he lost when he lost his job. I mean, that could have been his sense. I mean, you heard how many times he like referred to himself as I'm a cop and I'm this and that. So like that was obviously a big part of his identity. Like he might have lost like all their family insurance and like, you know, I mean, your income like has a lot to when you live in a first world country, it's kind of important. So like I feel like yeah, I felt like that he could have been really revengeful because in that
it
video
was
he
motive.
was. Yeah. And
But now
yeah,
I feel
so the
bad.
police department probably is really resentful about the
They're not going to
negative.
want to look for her.
Yeah, and have you seen the
when they cut
reviews?
previews. I saw a review. The last review I saw was with that post with her like 4 months ago. But it was yesterday, so I'm sure stuff has changed.
Oh, they got swamped. Like and I mean, I contributed with one comment, but they got swamped with a lot of negative feedback. Like, and I'm guessing it was, well, I know for a fact it was from Ashley's stuff. And yeah, so I mean, this has caused a whirlwind like in all directions. And it's like nobody's really
Across
talking about the
the
kids, which is
country.
really sad. Well, people are talking about the kids, but I feel like people really need to pay attention and make sure the kids are going to be placed in safe. Because I'm going to wrap this up really soon. I need to eat, but I'm just really worried that when this fades away, the kids might not be in the best care. And
I agree. And I will say something that maybe some people on here right now don't agree with. With the live video and what we saw, or not the live video, but the recordings that were posted that Ashley posted with their fighting. That environment, those children should not be in at all. And I know that people say that it's not grounds for losing your children, but I grew up in an abusive environment. And what was happening in front of those kids was not okay. Just because it isn't physical abuse doesn't mean that it's not worse.
no, it's definitely not. If teachers at a school, if staff were acting like that around their students, they could lose their jobs. So definitely parents,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like kids learn by example, not from words. And if that's what kids are seeing all the time, and the kids are gonna like subconsciously blame themselves. So I mean, you heard how the daughter was talking to her, like, "You're not gonna leave us, mommy, are you?" Like, the fact that a child would even have to, like, ponder that.
Saying that she's leaving isn't fantastic. Like
No.
at one point, Ashley was in the corner where in the room you could see a crib and like a bed. And she's in the corner and Matt's in there saying shit to her, and her daughter is like cuddling up next to her. Like she's scared, like she doesn't want to lose her mom.
That was the most heartbreaking part. And then Ashley
It was,
said, "Well, I'd never leave y'all, baby."
yeah, she fucking said that. So,
And now I actually have a little more respect for Matt when it comes to that video that he posted of the kids, because a lot of people were saying it was really wrong of him to tell the kids that she was missing, but I found out that family actually pressured him to make that video. And because, you know, it's not really healthy for a child to know that their parent is missing, but family wanted him to make that. Now looking back, it's weird that family would want him to make that if they knew Ashley was gone, but
they wanted her to look bad. And that
oh,
video 100% was coached. There's
mhm.
no question about it. When the daughter was talking and she said, "I want you to come back a lot," and then she forced a frown, it was coached.
So do you think do
Which
you think the kids thought the mom was going to come, that Ashley was going to come back?
I don't now
I
I
mean,
don't even know, because it was originally I thought Matt was 100% he killed her. That's what I thought. So
me
when I
too.
was looking at those videos, I assumed that he was making the videos. I
And
mean,
that's what's
even
also
if I
really
go back
scary
and
about this is like people are going to always look back on this case. If like, let's say a woman who really is scared of her husband posts a video
no
and
one's gonna believe it.
right. Kind of like with
Yeah.
Caitlin Nicole Davis, people didn't believe she was really going to kill herself when she kept crying on camera because of how many people for attention say they're going to kill themselves when they really aren't. And like, It's really dangerous to do that.
So
Well, and it's strange that you say that because she actually advocated and talked about it quite a bit on her page about believing somebody every single time they say something like that. And here we are.
It's upsetting because I know that I've.
Sorry. The videos that you brought up, the videos, it was like they were coached to look sad. It makes me think that like maybe she does do stuff like this and they weren't upset because they're with their dad and he, he takes care of them and stuff, and they even looked happy in the pictures family were posting of them. They didn't seem like they were really upset or fazed by it that much.
I don't think they have any idea what was going on.
Originally, I thought that maybe he coached those videos to make them look sad in order to cover his ass. But now, clearly, he wasn't covering his ass, so why would he coach that video? Because maybe he knew?
Her mom was there. Her mother was there with him at that point in time, so I fully believe that her family had him post
about it.
Videos to bring her home.
See the videos and be sad and
like I'd said before, like I'm 100% convinced now that this information has come out, because before I was 100% convinced that Matt murdered her.
So wait, y'all do think that the mom told Matt what she knew?
I think the mom.
I don't think she knew anything. What did she know at that point?
I think that they also thought maybe she was just pulling a stunt, because in all their posts they said, tell someone that you're okay, just come home. Like,
right.
I mean, they might have had, they might, in part of their mind, they might think, well, what if she is dead? But they really kind of thought maybe she's hiding somewhere.
Every post they spoke directly to Ashley. Call home. Come home.
So they knew that she was alive. So
yeah,
then
they
if
knew she was alive. She was suicidal. They wanted to find her. They didn't want her to hurt herself.
But there was already that plan involved that Savannah even said the plan doesn't have to do with Matt. So what if it wasn't a plan like Matt hurt her and she was trying to run? It was a plan that she was trying to get away, and she was supposed to tell family when she fucking ghosted. And then when she didn't tell family that she ghosted, people were concerned. But if we're going to go off of that beat me conversation, if that's real, then her mother had involvement. If it's real,
I don't believe that.
Wait, what beat me conversation are you talking about?
The 17 grand conversation. I don't buy that for a second.
That person, are you Patricia?
Yeah.
Patricia? Okay.
Yeah.
So Patricia, that conversation, the person that posted it, Eric Price, maybe I might be wrong on the last
Right. No, you're right.
Okay. So Eric posted those screenshots, and he also
I can read them right now.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm saying that he openly said that he would speak to law enforcement. So those screenshots weren't faked. And if we're going to take that 17 grand into consideration, maybe it was exaggerated, whatever.
Yeah.
She's saying
I think that's about the only part of that conversation that was exaggerated.
If you take $500 times 34 men, it would equal up to that, and it wouldn't take long to reach that goal.
And her, like, Thrive and that Forex trading stuff along
They're
with
not
everything.
making any money with that, Cassandra. They're not making any money with that. MLMs are bullshit. So she's posting this shit, not making money. But either way, she is saying
that's like a whole lot of I'm not sure the going rate for prostitutes, but $500 seems a little steep.
It is steep, I think, but that's 34 dudes. But if she's doing this for months, I mean, there's posts going back months.
But then why wouldn't she just leave? Why wouldn't she just throw it in his face? Look, I don't need you. I don't need your car. I don't need your money. I have my own, and I'm leaving.
I don't think she was prepared. But even if she was trying to get to the point,
she doesn't have a driver's license.
Her mom was involved. She even said the money she made was going to her mom when she came down to visit. She would give her mom money, and her mom would put money in an
Well,
account or whatever
Oh,
she
I
did.
buy that. I
to
believe that. I
where
believe they had a
so
plan.
where did it come from that she made all that money in a month? I don't remember
Right.
her
I'm
saying she
wondering
made
that
it in a month.
I'm wondering that.
And
I don't
I think
know.
it
they
said
had
something
said
about a
she had
few
been
months, didn't
doing
it?
she had
I
been
think
meeting guys since August is what they had said. He found out she had been bringing guys home since August.
maybe I'm confusing it, but I do remember her saying at one point when he asked questions, she said 17 grand. So 100% I'll take if I'm confusing it with the time frame, but I know that I saw the 17 grand and I know that I'm going to stick to the fact that her mom was involved. Why the fuck else would she come down to look for Ashley and then go back and everyone accuses her of shit and questioning why she went back, but she
Where
has nothing to say about it.
where
There
did
was a
she look for
birthday. It
Ashley?
was the aunt's birthday.
Yeah,
What?
they went on vacation for her birthday.
There was a birthday. They had to get
Yes.
back for
That was
somebody's
very
birthday, the
weird.
aunt's birthday.
That was weird to
Oh,
me.
so on vacation you go and look for your fucking missing daughter?
I
And
I
then when
thought
time
honestly she was just being selfish. At that time I
I
thought
think
she was
it's
just
more than that now.
But
Oh
see,
well,
what
yeah.
would cause somebody to be selfish? Maybe the fact that they've heard from the same person repeatedly how they're going to kill themselves and it hasn't happened, and maybe they just think this is going to blow over and she's going to come on home.
I don't know. I
Maybe
mean,
it wasn't that big a deal.
I
Maybe
don't
they got the
I
public to do their work for them.
it doesn't make sense though, because if I mean the family was being questionable from the beginning.
Oh, yeah, they
And then
were.
her mom April disappeared, went back because of some other shit. Her sister Brittany couldn't deal with anything because she was pregnant. But it's why did they disappear and say fucking nothing?
Yeah. Well,
They
I asked
literally said
about that,
nothing.
and I was told that their family whereabouts were none of our business.
I
Of
mean, it
course they're
almost
not.
makes me wonder, did she even really have surgery or anything, you know?
You know, I'm questioning that too. Because they're saying it's none of our business. But if you're gonna bring the public into
Absolutely.
looking for this person, then of course it's everyone's business.
Right. You can't be shady
These
with
people are
details.
invested in finding this person. You don't withhold information. You give people what they need to try and help find her. From the beginning, this shit's been covered up. Somebody knows way more than they're saying.
Yeah.
And it's gonna come out hopefully sooner than later. I'm reading the comments still in the group, and the missing persons of South Carolina page does not seem to be a fan at all.
Who is
Did
running
they
that page? I was wondering.
It's very
they
unethical in my
deleted
opinion. They know that she's possibly suicidal, and I don't really think they're wording things in the most. They're kind of, in my
I think
opinion, past. Do what?
I think they're pissed off
They're
because
pissed
they
off, but they're
also
being kind of bullyish, in my opinion. Like,
I think they're trying to make I think they're trying to be honest about the situation. The post I saw recently was deleted.
I'm going to their
But
thing right
what they were saying was that she needs to be prosecuted.
Yeah, I didn't
That
really
she
see it
let
as
all these
bullying.
Well,
No,
they're mocking. I'm trying to find the
I didn't feel it as mocking either. I felt that they put their time in to find her. And then all this shit came to light and they don't want somebody else to become the victim of this. Which someone lying.
Well, and they can express that just the way that you just did without being. I'm trying to find the post, because if they had said it like you just did, that would have been different. They're not wording it like that. They're being catty and passive aggressive and insulting, and
I don't feel that they originally were catty or passive aggressive. I did see the original post and then I watched the comments come in and I watched people reply to those comments and I felt their responses were kind of petty.
I just don't want her to kill herself. And I feel like
I
because she's traumatized,
that's
she
what
said.
scares me too, is that she's watching all of this and people talking I can say personally that if someone badmouths me on a comment thread, I immediately feel pretty fucking depressed.
Well,
So I
yeah.
can't imagine like how she feels with the entire world saying shit about her.
Right. And that's why I really want her with her vulnerability to be watched when she's released. If she's going to be released, I don't know. I'm sure that when we do finally see her, it's going to be on TV or on a video online, and it's going to be her in a courtroom. And yeah.
I mean, I don't agree with what she did. I understand why she did what she did, because I 100% am not disagreeing with the fact that Matt is abusive. Everyone tries to claim that he was calm in his videos, so he's not abusive, but that's 100% what gaslighting is.
Mm-hmm.
You're calm and you make the other person feel like they're losing their fucking mind. And he was fucking with her. And I think in those videos, as much as people try and say she was antagonizing him, maybe she was. Maybe she was trying to record him snapping to show the world what he really is.
Right.
So as much as I feel bad that he was accused as a murderer, I don't really feel that bad, because he seems to be a terrible person.
No, I think the exposure was actually really, because I mean, you can't fix things unless you acknowledge that there's a problem to begin with. And I think now nobody can deny that there's a problem. So that's a good start. And it's not like he was actually arrested. So I do agree with you there. Like it is, it's like hard to feel bad for him because he didn't actually get any actual real consequence as, you know, a result of this other than stress and maybe some fear. And there's a lot that got exposed that needed to be exposed. As far as that cop video goes, I'm sure there are also a lot of people that can relate to her position from that cop. And for me, it was like, wow, it really like confirmed how a lot of cops are, because I've been in a similar position as far as cop treatment. And there's just a lot from all over CPS exposure. And like, I think he's going to have no choice but to have to do drug testing and get help too, because he is the father of those kids. And it seems like he likes being the father of them, like he wants to be the dad. So that being the case, I think that there is a big chance, actually, with this family. I do think there's a big chance that things could turn around.
I hear a dog.
What?
Because Ashley, I think I saw her as a smart girl. I saw her as smart. And that's why when I read this last statement from her, I want to hear what she has to say, because maybe she didn't mean for it to paint Matthew in the way it did, even though it doesn't seem that way. Maybe she really didn't intend for it to make him look like a killer. Like maybe she just was trying to like, because then sometimes we get mad and we'll like talk crap about somebody, or we'll try to get them to look bad or something. And maybe it was just innocently like that. Like, look how mean he is to me. But maybe she didn't think people were actually going to think he killed her. And like, because she never actually said he killed me. I don't know.
I don't know. I disagree. I mean, if you're in how long were they together? 7 years? 6 years?
6 or 7, yeah.
If you're being abused for that long and you feel that you have no other way out, how desperate do you become? I mean, I feel at that point she needed to do something. And if he's fucked her over the way that she said that he did, I don't blame her at all if she was trying to accuse him of something.
But we're forgetting the fact that she was out. She had left.
But do you think that she was running originally and then shit hit the fan? I mean, even if we look back through her previous
even
posts,
prior to all of this mess, she had moved out of the home.
Do we even know that's true? Do we even know that's true?
Yeah, we don't know if that's like fact.
It was talked about in the videos.
It was like 3 posts on her Facebook about how
it was talked
she moved
about
out.
in the videos of them confronting each other.
Oh wait, I remember what you're talking about when she screamed when she says, "I left that," or no, there. I know what you're talking about, because she screams out and says like about how she's had to leave them before and that he didn't do jack anything.
He said he came and seen him on the weekend. She said, "Oh yeah, weekend dad, blah blah blah." Yeah, she had already left before.
But how long did she leave for? And
That I couldn't tell you. She had made it out, though. She was in her own place, according to her. She was doing fine.
If we're going to go off of her not having custody of her children and she leaves and the dad doesn't do shit about it, explain that to me. Like, if I don't remember that from the videos at all, I watched
Well, I'm
all
not
of
really
them.
sure what you just asked me.
Sorry, Patricia, I'm saying if he really cared and if that was the issue that's at hand, that she left with the children, because my understanding was she didn't have custody
No,
of them.
we're not talking. I didn't mention the kids at all. What I'm saying is I'm not even sure where the kids were at that point in time, to be honest. I
Oh,
can't tell
okay.
you for certain. I gathered,
I
and I
misunderstood.
could be wrong, but I gathered from the videos that they had went with her. What I'm saying is she had left. She had went. She was living somewhere else. She came back. He begged her to come back. That was said repeatedly in the video. Why'd you beg
But
me to come back?
you saw her status updates about her leaving and it being weird because Matt was now a weekend dad.
Mhm.
That's what you saw.
No. That's not what I saw.
So
That's
hey,
No, that's not
what
what
I
I saw.
saw.
She had
There were
moved out.
status
Moved out.
updates about it. And you have proof of that?
Watch the videos.
I've watched all of the videos and I don't remember seeing any of that. I remember Ashley's like status updates, her shit way before, talking about how it was so sad that he was now going to be a weekend dad. But I don't remember seeing any of that in the videos.
It's
I
in the
do remember
videos.
her shouting in the video to him about that, and it was like super brief. It was like maybe
Yeah,
10
it was
seconds.
like a passing comment that they made to each other about. The fact of the matter is, she said repeatedly, "Why did you beg me to come back?" They had
Oh
just
my god,
reconciled. She was gone
I do
prior to
remember
that.
that. I do remember that.
Yeah, she had left him prior to that. He begged her to come back. They were trying to work on things. He kept saying, "I don't know why I asked you to come back."
I wish we knew if she took the kids with her when she did that, because that would show if she makes a pattern of like just disappearing without the.
From what I gathered, they were with her because he made the comment in the video. I'm not sure if they were with her or if they were with his family, but she had made the comment, or he had made the comment that he had to work, so they had to stay somewhere.
Sorry, Patricia.
Yeah, I've been following this shit far too long.
Yeah, it's
this girl
it
has
fucks with
me
you when
fucked
it's
up for real.
right. It's fucking with my
This ain't even
marriage.
okay. My old man's pissed. She doesn't seem that. See, this is why I'm angry. They affected so many people's lives and they don't even understand. My old man's mad. Like, seriously.
My
Mad.
husband has been extremely pissed with me since like day 3.
Right.
Like,
Because they had to pick up the slack. I mean, I convinced the Lexington Ledger to run this chick's story when nobody else would. They didn't even bother to call that man back.
I remember.
No, we've been pushing news stations. Like, we have a small group of girls in a chat, and we were pushing news stations. I was sharing as much shit as I could. I was reaching out to other missing persons pages. I got other missing persons pages to share this. Like, at one point, I had one missing persons page tell me that they thought about running the story, but then they joined a group with Ashley, like some Ashley group, asked a question, and they got fucking attacked for asking a question. They were like, we don't want to run this, but since you reached out to us, we will share her missing flyer post, but that's it. We won't do anything else. We don't want to be involved in this.
Well, and the guy from the Lexington Ledger posted, on about not being contacted. He said this whole thing is just confusing, and I don't know what to do. If somebody from the family would contact me, I'd be more than happy to run the story. Nobody ever called him.
Because no
I
one gave a
wasted my
shit.
time. I wasted his time. You know, it just there was a lady. I read a post. A lady that works with a search team. Works with a search team. She had dogs. She had horses.
Yep, same here.
She
I
was
spoke
ready
to.
to go.
Mhm.
What?
They
I
never
contacted.
contacted her.
I contacted a bounty hunter in Texas, and it was because the thing
Because
was, is we
they
felt
knew
like she
she
was
was
voiceless.
missing.
You know, we felt like she was voiceless, and that we had to be
Right.
her voice.
Suicidal or not, she was voiceless. She needed to be found. She needed help. But the way this family handled this and the way, honestly, that last post from her angers me. Because
I don't know why she
really,
wouldn't elaborate. Like, so she said that she didn't intend to stay for a week, but she did intend to leave. So why not elaborate on that and explain that? Like,
well, and like, it's almost you're flipping off all of the fucking country, you know? Everybody that was fucking looking for you and has been losing sleep and worried and all the stress you caused, and you're just kind of
People were
flipping
Right.
the bird.
Like,
Yeah, people
why
that
why not
really
just ignore the
cared.
negativity and thank the people who did help?
is someone doing dishes?
Someone is, I heard. It's
Yeah,
not
I
me.
think that dude's feeding his dog.
Oh.
No, I'm just making something to eat.
Oh, he's making stuffing.
this is like, why didn't if they were so concerned, why didn't they actually reach out to these organizations that were trying to help them? And
Exactly.
why post this angry post? Like, okay, yeah, there was a lot of drama and people gossiping, but there was a lot of people who were helping. Why not acknowledge that people were trying to help you?
I
So
feel
they
like
kept saying over and over again, though, that the police were advising them not to say anything. The only
because the
reason that I
police
could think that that would be, quite honestly, because I was told by the news station that Ashley had contacted the police department and she
Oh.
was fine. Okay.
Patricia.
So now the only reason that I could think that that would be is because they knew that she was going to hurt
was
herself, or they were afraid that she was going to hurt herself. And they figured any more attention that this got, the worse it would be.
But
I think that the police knew at one point that she was safe, but they couldn't relay that information. So then we have, or even if they did relay that information, let's say that the police told Ashley's family that she's fine. If we're going to go off of Ashley's family not being involved in her disappearance, what if they were like, well, the cops say she's fine, but we want to find her.
That's
So then
exactly what it
Yeah.
was, I think.
Well,
I think we were all used to find her.
I mean, but what
But I
I'm
think
saying
that
is
her family knew.
her
Go
family
ahead,
kept
Cassandra.
saying,
I
contact
don't
the
think they knew.
media, come help us, blah, blah, blah. But then when people reached out to them, they ignored them. So I don't think they wanted help, honestly.
No, I think at that point they didn't want help because they were angry about the Dateline story too, and I don't think it was because it made the guy look
No,
bad
this
or
was
whatever.
before that. This whole
Where
time
is
she's
Rodman?
been missing, they keep saying,
Good
contact
question.
the
Rodman's
media,
hiding.
blah, blah,
Rodman's
blah.
smart and Rodman's hiding.
What?
If
I
Rodman
said
wasn't
Rodman is
involved,
smart
he
and
would
he is
come talk
hiding.
about shit.
Rodman did not see my last. No, he did. He heard it at
Rod-
midnight at 12:02 a.m.
Rodman's hiding.
So he knows shit that he doesn't want to talk about.
Of
Well, he
course
wanted
he
to.
does.
He wanted to earlier. I know that he gets up pretty early because when he responded to me this morning, it was like as soon as I got up to get my kids up for school, so it was really early. So maybe he's just
I get up at 4, but here I am.
well, girl, you're crazy. 'Cause I am like, I need to wrap
It's
this up.
11:35 here. It's not super late.
It's like a quarter, 20 to 2 here.
It's just like, it's just kind of a slap in the face, though, that they keep saying, like, oh, none of you are helping. You guys aren't helping. Why don't you help
And then
do something
talking
when people
shit to
were?
us. Yeah,
Right.
they were talking shit, saying that we weren't doing anything and that we didn't care. We
Right.
tried from where we were. We couldn't do much, but we gave a shit. We were
But
trying.
people even were there and tried to help them with search dogs and all this
And
crap.
Savannah blew him off because Savannah knew. And Savannah only wanted the attention because it's her best friend, so she wanted that
Oh,
coverage.
I realize that. Like at first, I didn't think that, but now I fully do.
I didn't feel it to begin with either. I was like, shit, this girl feels really sad because her friend's missing. But then watching her bullshit posts where she does live videos talking shit to everyone, saying that none of us care.
That's
And
just
it's-
silly. It's not a competition anyway. If somebody cries a tear for somebody or cares about somebody at all, that's still care. It's not a competition.
We still care. Like Cassandra and I, we're in Idaho. We're not anywhere near this, and we gave a shit. We cared. And then we have Savannah coming on these videos saying no one gives a shit, and she's the only person.
And she's taking Snapchat videos and
Exactly. She's
putting
not looking for
music
her
on them of
friend.
the woods. Like
That's why I take the statement with a grain of salt that she says that Ashley Nicole said, because Savannah's the one who composed it and posted it. And what kind of friend is like, wouldn't a true friend be like, hey, look, let me just fill you in. Like, a lot of people from around the world are like freaking out about you. They really wanted to see you alive. Like, wouldn't a good friend say that? Like, hey, it's probably not a good idea to like go off on these people because a lot of people cared. Like, why is she condoning?
Unless, let me say this, what if originally when Ashley went missing, she had contacted Savannah and they had a plan to not talk about it for like a week. So what if she went missing, she let Savannah know? I just heard a microwave. What if she let Savannah know? What if she let her know, like, she's missing, but don't bother with it? So what if that was what it was? Like, originally when Ashley went missing, she contacted Savannah, said, don't let, like, I'm good, so whatever. And then Savannah continued to make some big ass search party where a woman, let me add this, a woman with her disabled daughter showed up to help Savannah look for Ashley and begged for her location, and Savannah wouldn't give it to her. You guys had to have all seen that, right?
Oh, I seen it. I seen it. It was an older lady.
Yeah.
Is she the one who saw her at Basin Rock or whatever?
No, she's the one who. Yeah, she's the one that told Savannah told her where they should meet, and this woman made it clear that she made arrangements with her disabled daughter because she couldn't leave her. That she made arrangements to come help search for Ashley. And then Savannah was nowhere to be found. And then we find out she's a fucking Matt's charging her phone.
That lady found her at Matt's, didn't she?
Yeah, because they went there to go search around there.
They took off to search around Basin Rock.
Yeah, I seen a big post. She was mad. That lady was mad. She wrote a post about it.
Yeah.
Did they say what Savannah was doing when they found her in there?
Charging her phone.
She was hanging out with Matt.
I mean, aside from charging, like, was she doing, like, what was she actually doing? Just sitting on a couch or?
Probably.
And she didn't elaborate. They said they saw her car there and stuff, because I think
And
she
then-
said she went with Shayla, didn't she?
No, Shayla did post that she didn't know where she was, but then that's why the other person reached out. And they were like, I reached out to Shayla. I reached out to you. But then they found out when the other lady went to go search around Basin Rock, they went and searched around Basin Rock and saw that Savannah was at fucking Ashley's house.
I thought
And
she
she
had
was
said
supposedly-
that she went there. Hold on, I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Yeah, she went there and she said that Shayla came and met up with her, and the lady's name is Pamela. Her and Shayla went and thought to check Basin Rock, and they went there and they were shocked to see Savannah's car there. You were not
That's
at
what it
the
was.
arena. I was pissed. Yeah, so oh my god, my cat is like eating newspaper. Hold on.
Just give me your cats. I want
Sushi,
cats.
what are you doing? Come here.
I don't know. I wish Rodman was on here.
So
Me
I'm thinking
too.
she probably knew that was Savannah's car, because Shayla had shown up to actually search, and if she's known them for
I
16
feel like
years, she probably
Savannah-
recognized her car.
Yeah, I feel that Savannah maybe picked her up and dropped her off. Like, I imagine if my best friend was like, I need to go somewhere and get out of the way, take me here, I would pick her up and take her. If she was like, take me here, I would take her. So I wouldn't be like, I don't think it'd be too far-fetched to say that Savannah picked her up. If there was even a pickup, because I'm still questionable about that, because that pickup was supposedly only said by Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, I had seen one random comment saying that the neighbor who saw her leave Friday was like an elderly woman and their
It was like a
really
blind
young
lady.
grandson or something.
Do you
It
think that
said
Ashley
she was
knows about that?
Hispanic. It
That's
said
just
that she was Hispanic and the little boy was like 6 or something.
And
Yeah.
she was blind.
Is
I
that
don't
true?
remember. She
I
was
don't-
blind.
I saw a post somewhere that said the person that saw her was like legally
For
blind.
real.
Yeah.
And she was
No,
gonna
the
wait.
little
So
kid
legally
was
blind
the one that saw her.
on a search? That'll be legally blind going on a search?
No.
No, not a search, but
spotted the truck.
originally. Yeah.
The
So when they
neighbor who had seen her leave Friday in an unknown vehicle was apparently a Hispanic old blind lady and a 6-year-old little boy or something.
Oh my.
What? Okay. Well,
I never seen the blind part. I did see Hispanic and little boy though.
Yeah, I don't know if it said blind, but I do remember now that you've brought
Damn,
it up,
that's
they said
almost
she
as
didn't
good as
speak
the
English
Secret
or
Service.
something.
it was someone saying like, well, she was legally blind, and then people were like, how the fuck
There is
would
a
you
few troll in the post though.
What
Being a
if
smart ass.
it's all like actually like some kind of weird social experiment? I still think that could be
Crazy.
You know,
and the
dang.
Secret Service. Where's the Secret Service?
Yeah.
Cassandra.
What would this experiment prove? Like, what would it?
To see how crazy people will get on social media and what they will
I
do.
don't know what it proves, but my husband, Cassandra, Bill brought up after you did, after all this shit, I think it was like yesterday, he was like, what if this is all a social experiment?
Yeah, right, because it started on April 1st.
But what would it prove? Because even if it was a social experiment, we would never know. They're not going to say that shit.
My husband's reaction today when I told him was, he was like, "Huh, I think she found pleasure in all the attention. I think she liked it." I was like, "What? You really think that?" He's like, "Yeah, I think she liked all the attention." I was
Well,
like,
yeah.
Guys
That's
are
what-
better able to see that shit because originally Bill was like, no, she's just looking for attention. It's all bullshit. And I know Cassandra, even Caleb, pulled the Gone Girl, which I haven't seen, but I feel like our like husbands both knew.
This whole time, every time I've shown him an update, he's like, "Oh yeah." About the post on Thursday or whatever, I had him look at it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's totally her."
well, I didn't even let my husband get a word in, like, when I first found out, like, a week ago, because I'm just a really, like, stubborn, opinionated person. So, like, I was talking to him about it, and I didn't even want to talk to him about it. He was like, "Why don't you tell me?" So I finally told him about it. I didn't want to tell him about it because I wouldn't be able to handle him thinking that the husband was innocent. So finally, when I told him about it, he, like, barely opened up his lips, and he was, like, about to talk, and I was like, No, he did it, okay? He did it.
How would you go a week obsessing about this without your husband having some input?
Because I could not handle him disagreeing, honestly. It's a problem.
I guess I'm maybe like biased because I don't do anything. I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Oh no, I mean, like, me too, but like we are very like kind of disconnected. So
my
like
husband found out about this, and originally he was on board. He's like, yeah, this is fucking weird. And like 4 days in, we're fighting because I'm not talking to him. And I'm spending fucking 17 hours a day looking on my phone, and we're talking about fighting, and he is judging me. And then I'm like, I did see that there were other women in my chat that are also. I'm apparently yelling. Sorry, I've got a kid
He's like,
asleep.
you're still talking about it.
This is my
He
life.
hates me for it.
Well,
We
in the
got in a
videos
feud.
where when Matt would tell Ashley to go away, when he'd like repeatedly say, just go away, leave me alone. Like Tim, my husband, was taking a shower and like I opened up the door, and this was like the day after I watched those videos. I opened up the door because I just needed to get something, and he was like telling me to go away. And I was like, listen to me. Don't you
Don't
ever tell me go away. I said, you can kindly say get out, or what do you, you're not going to say go away, leave me alone. And then he was like, what is your problem? Oh my God. And I was like, I've seen how abusers talk. I was like totally psycho mode. I walked out of the bathroom. I was like, listen, I meant what I said. Do not tell me go away. And he was like, okay. Like, so yeah, it affected.
Like
Because I saw Matt when he said that. I saw him as Matt in the shower.
My
You.
husband is now asking me for the last like 3 days if I'm just gonna disappear.
What?
And I was like, no, I'm not going to. And he was like, well, you've been following this case and you know what it takes. So are you just gonna disappear?
Yeah, do not
I've
ever
asked
sit
if
on
I
the
could.
floor and start recording him. That will really freak him out. Like, seriously.
Oh my gosh, my baby is like laughing and smiling in his sleep because we're all laughing.
He's so cute all the time.
I know,
He's
dude,
adorable.
he's a giant. He can like reach the table, like my little side table that sits next to me, and like you just started crawling a few days ago, and now he's like pulling himself up and standing. What the heck?
I told you he's gonna walk soon.
He like
cute.
he's crying.
Henry, no.
Got his little thumb in his mouth.
Oh, hey, Ian.
Ian?
Yeah, he's been completely silent just now until I heard
I'm
him.
here. I'm here. I'm just preparing some food.
What are your thoughts as a man?
Yeah, it's just
You're probably like afraid to ever do
Ian.
now, right? You'll have all these like angry stay-at-home moms coming at you.
it's a very unfortunate situation. I'll tell you that.
Talk to us.
So do you believe her statement? Do you believe that there was a compelling reason that she didn't speak out for a week?
Sorry, I'm eating something. She definitely is not in a happy relationship. I mean, that goes without saying. I don't think either one of them are particularly happy in that relationship, but the way she has handled it, yeah, it hasn't been good.
Do you want me to put it on speaker so you don't feel so left out? Oh shit, that's still on.
Ian, I can hear you smacking.
What are you eating?
I'm sorry.
Like, I can hear every little, like, it sounds like you're making out.
I am. My girl's right here.
Well, oh my God, I have a cramp. Okay. I actually have been holding the microphone the whole time, and I haven't budged because once I go into the kitchen, I'm gonna want to eat. So, because I've been wanting to eat this whole time.
You got some oatmeal ready?
Yes. Yes. And so if anybody has any last words they want to say, I think now, because Rodman doesn't, he's read everything. So he's probably going to shoot up early in the, not shoot up, but he's going to like shoot out of bed early in the morning. And yeah, then maybe we can, if y'all are even going to be awake, I don't know. But because I don't think any of us are going to.
Violence number, maybe?
Do what?
The domestic violence hotline number, maybe?
For what?
Domestic violence? Yeah. So the number is 1-800-799-7233 or 211 from any phone.
That was a good idea. At first, I thought you were telling me to call it. I was like,
No.
because of what I was saying about the shower stuff, but
No.
just because, yeah, if y'all saw my face, it's
And maybe, I don't know if anyone
Horrific
can pull
face.
up like the suicide hotline or suicide prevention number.
Oh, I can find it. Hang on.
And maybe like rehab for drug rehab.
no,
number.
really, that's a good point because I don't understand why if she had cocaine in her system and it affected the baby, why she wouldn't be put in a rehab.
So
I mean, it could have really
honestly,
helped.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you can literally dial 211 from any phone and they will put you in touch with safe houses, domestic violence shelters, suicide hotline, all of that. 211.
And my last word, I'm going to say, y'all can also say something after I do, but I just want to say, Matt Rabon, I am sorry for referring to you as a killer and pausing the video on your face and saying that guy is a killer. And yeah, like I really wholeheartedly thought you did kill her. And
I do want to say something with that as well.
oh, you can. I'm done. I just wanted him to know that I wasn't saying it for any other reason other than I genuinely 1,000% thought he killed her. And I wasn't doing it for any other reason. That is truly what I felt, and I was completely wrong, obviously. And I really do hope that they turn their lives around because I see potential in them. So, yeah.
And Matt, I'm sure that you've seen, if you're following everything, you've seen all the posts, and I'm sure you understand everything points to you. So I really do want to apologize as well. With everything we saw in front of us, you were the guilty party. And I know now that you were not, and I really apologize for immediately assuming that you were.
I'm going to say to Matt, I never accused you of murder. I never thought you did. However, the way you speak
It's
in front of
abusive.
those children is disgusting, and you should really fix that. You shouldn't treat people that way.
Right.
Especially somebody you know is
agree.
suffering from mental health issues, because it is a very, very real thing. How would you have felt if you pushed the mother of your children to suicide with your mouth?
Right.
I 100% agree with that. I think that the children should not have seen any of this. And I don't want to say, with me saying that I assumed he was the murderer and then I realized he's not, that I don't discredit at all that it is a very abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And Matt,
And I
the
think
way
they
that you
both-
talk to her is 100% not okay.
Right.
It's
And
abuse.
just because
It's
you can point
abuse.
the finger,
Just because he can put his hands on her doesn't make it not abuse. He abused her.
Exactly my fucking point. People
They
keep
abuse
saying
each
that
other.
because
They
he didn't
abuse each other.
supposedly hit her, that it wasn't abuse.
No, I think
There
that
are
may have
many,
been why
many
she said to
forms
hit
of
me.
abuse.
I feel like
That
that's
was
why she
good.
was saying hit me, is because when a girl feels so emotionally defeated, she hopes her man does something like that solidifies that he's abusing her, so she can be like, hey, look, he punched me, because he's punching her in her
Absolutely.
heart, as cheesy as that sounds.
Absolutely.
That's what's bullshit is. It's bullshit that we as women have to make our significant other hurt us in a physical way to possibly get anything pressed upon them.
Right.
Like, mental abuse is, in my opinion, with what I've gone through as an adult, as a child, mental abuse 100% is worse than any type of physical abuse. So I can say that with his shit, with the way that he talked to her.
Most people who kill themselves, it's not from getting routinely beat up, it's from getting routinely bullied emotionally. So I mean, that's important. And I know that because I've seen his reaction to this sort of thing, it's to immediately point the finger, well, she this, well, she that, well, she, yeah, okay. So yeah, and just because you can point the finger and she's done her share of really bad things, that does not make his abuse okay. And that's what that's what he thinks, though. That's what he does is, well, you did that, because she would say, well, you kicked me, you did this, you did that, and then he would just be like, well, you did this. It's just a finger pointing.
It is common narcissistic behavior. Regardless of what you do, your narcissist is going to say, well, you did this. So they're going to take whatever they did and trying to make what you did worse.
Even if it happened 5 years ago.
Exactly. You could say, like, hey, you made me feel sad with this. And they would say, well, you 10 years ago made me feel sad with this.
Or they would say, well, you shouldn't feel sad. They'll invalidate your feelings altogether. Because like when she would be crying and she would say, do you even hear me right now? Do you even understand what I'm saying? And it'd be like, you're a damn liar or whatever. It's like, that's just not even a willingness to hear somebody. So that's
oh my God, that's exactly what it is. And that's why I'm so upset about people seeing the videos and they're like, well, Matt was so calm. And it's like, calm is a fucking gas lighting. That's what they do. They gaslight and they're calm and they try and make you feel fucking crazy.
Yeah, he was saying though really evil things like, I hope you die, and I mean every word of it, and you have nowhere to go, ha ha, what are you gonna do?
Calmly. He was saying it calmly.
Exactly. That's why it's so scary. You're talking about Matt, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's Matt. So in that video, he was like, I hate you. I hate everything about you, and I hope you fucking die.
And then he was telling her everybody else hates you and other people tell you to kill yourself. Yeah. I mean, like, not
and calling her a cunt. So great.
And she was screaming. So everything that she, like, I think if she had been calmer and she had been saying, like, you know, why aren't you talking to me? Look, you need to listen to me, Matt. Like, if she had sounded more composed, people wouldn't have been as,
I even think that anyone that has experience with mental or physical, any type of domestic abuse, she doesn't need to try and word anything differently. Anyone who has been in that position understands 100% with how he was wording things.
Yes.
Well, he was purposely trying to goat her. He kept leaving and coming back.
Yes.
He was doing shit to fuck with her head.
Leaving and coming back, knowing that was tearing her up. He kept leaving. She kept saying to him, so you're leaving again, huh? You're good at that. You're leaving again.
I'm so glad that the video I'm so glad this was acknowledged, because that's why I got connected to this case, was because of his narcissistic traits.
It's 100% narcissistic. He is going to fight with her and pretend to be completely calm the entire time, knowing that he can word things in a certain way to make her fucking snap.
He manipulated that situation.
Exactly. He manipulated it for 100%. So I hate that people are saying, like, oh, he was super calm.
I think his family, they're enablers. And the reason I say that is because the post that his sister made, if I were in her position, of course, I would have a natural bias to want to defend my brother. But at the same time, I would say, look, I know that y'all saw a lot of really bad things. And, I apologize that y'all had to see that ugly side of my brother, whatever. Like, I would at least acknowledge that there was some imperfection on my end too. Like, she tried to make it just seem like Matthew's 100% of a victim. And
I will say that anyone that has not dealt with that type of abuse will not know at all what it's like.
Nope.
So people outside of that can say, oh, maybe he was a dick. But in reality, the shit that he's saying is making her contemplate killing herself.
I used to say to myself, the bruises, those go away. The words that are said and that pain that you feel, that lasts forever. That never goes anywhere.
No.
It's almost better to be hit. You can recover from that.
It's 100% better, Patricia. You would rather be hit than deal with the mental abuse of being told that you're a whore, you're a cunt, and that your children don't care if you leave.
Yeah.
And that's 100% what Matt did. I would rather be fucking decked in the face
Right. And she's so young. She's 26. Like, I mean, I feel like a different person at 30 now than I was at 26. Like, and like as far as my confidence goes, like, you know what I mean? Like your confidence is still wavering at 26, especially if you grew up as she did. So like that was really, I don't know how old Matthew is. Do y'all?
No, I don't.
I have no idea.
But
I
he,
assume
40
he's
maybe?
around 30, but I don't know.
I mean, 26 was the age for me where I was like, you know, put on all kinds of antidepressants. I was told to try this, to try this. I felt like I was a guinea pig. And so my emotions were constantly going up and down. I never felt like I could feel normal. And like, I wasn't even an addict. And so I can't even imagine what she felt like so isolated. I mean, that does need to be acknowledged. I'm glad it's being acknowledged here because that does need to be acknowledged. Like, his family's not going to admit it, but Matthew did control her being isolated. That's
100%.
he didn't help her go get a bank account. He didn't say, hey, look, you know, why don't I'm going to give you some cash, go to the movies with your girlfriends. Like, there was not a normal, healthy.
No, and even
and
if
I
she
hate
wanted to go to
that
work, she couldn't go to work. I mean, I have 3 kids. I know what a struggle it
How do
is
you
to
pay for
find daycare and
And she didn't
It's
have a license. He
super
wasn't
hard.
helping her get on her feet with a license or anything. And he knew that. So when he would tell her to just go get a job, he knew that wasn't her. He was
Joke.
just saying it to hurt her.
Right.
These videos of him and his family claiming he's not abusive. He is 100 fucking
That's
percent
scary.
abusive. You imagine her stuck at home with her 3 kids and not being able to get a job, him controlling all of the finances completely.
That's abusive. If she was acting that way in a therapist's office and the therapist stood over her and called her all these names and talked to her the way he talked to her, he'd lose his job. He was not consoling her. He could have ignored her at the very least. He could have ignored her, or he could have just told her, like, you know, go to hell. Fuck you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Or the many times he left, he could have just stayed gone.
Yeah, but he had the kids. So imagine what that did to Ashley. If he's going to leave, he has custody of the kids since like fucking 2009 or some shit. There was some shit way back. She lost custody of the kids. So imagine he's going to leave with her children. You know that she loved her kids to no end. But she had no control over it because she had some narcissistic piece of shit husband that controlled everything. And he knew what he was doing.
I think a part of her felt like she just wanted to immediately get away, and then a part of her felt like maybe he would like bring the kids to her, or he would let the kids stay with her when she had a place to stay.
No, I guarantee if he didn't have custody of those kids, this situation right now would not have happened.
Oh yeah, I forget he has legal custody.
Yeah. She would have ran away.
That's before, and he was taking them to her, if I'm not mistaken, to be watched while he worked.
But he's a piece of shit, and everyone has seen that from those videos, and no one's acknowledging that.
Right.
Oh,
And then when she would say over and over, if I'm so horrible, why do you leave them with me? I mean, there is logic in that statement.
Right.
Like,
There
and then he
is
would use,
logic
what
in
was
that
his
statement.
excuse? Because I have nowhere else to bring them or something? Like,
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
that's not true.
She needed to get away from him, and she needed to take her kids. Everyone, now that Ashley is found, they're like, fuck you all for thinking Matt was involved, and nobody is looking at the fact that she left because of him.
Right. This isn't a win or lose thing. Like, in the end, yes, my hunch that he killed her was very, very wrong, but that does not overshadow the fact that exactly what you just said, that he is part of the causation in this whole situation.
Yeah, he's why she left. He has emotionally abused her since I don't know how long. I've been only following this shit since day one. So I don't know what it was before.
Oh, she talked about it a lot in the groups about it not being.
I was in one group with her that I didn't follow much. But I've been in this since day one, and I've been in abusive relationships. And I know 100%, I can say with 100%, she was trying to get the fuck away, and she felt that she had no control over any of it. If he had, control of her kids, if he had 100% consent because one of her kids tested positive for cocaine before, but nobody is looking at all of his fucking domestic battery charges for years before. He beat the shit out of someone to the point where it was, what's the fucking word? Like, you fuck someone up bad enough, they have to have surgery. That's what Matt did. In one of his cases, his ex-girlfriend.
Wait, are you talking
told
about
him-
this Matt?
What?
You're talking about the Matt in this case?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
he
this-
fucked.
Wow.
He fucked up one of. What is Cassandra? Are you on here?
Yeah, his ex-girlfriend, Jonna, I think.
It was
Her, like, boyfriend or something. He came and, like, beat them up with his friends.
not only
What?
did he beat him up with his friends, he had the cops involved. So there was an ex-girlfriend that told him to stop contacting her. And she told him not to come over one night. And Matt showed up. And she was at home with herself and her boyfriend. And supposedly he showed up to gather, like, belongings. But he was on a motorcycle or some shit. So he wasn't able to collect the belongings that he claimed he wanted. Like, the shit he wanted wouldn't fit on a motorcycle. So he went in. And apparently, I don't know because I haven't, like, been there, but apparently shit went down. He tried to choke the girlfriend, and then the boyfriend, like, went in on it, and shit went down, and eye socket was broken on the boyfriend, and he had to have surgery. But Matt beat the shit out of some dude, not even being with this girl.
So does his family think that's like normal behavior, like a normal reaction in that situation? Because it's not.
I don't
Apparently.
think anyone has addressed that, but he has like at least 3 prior domestic violence charges on him that were online in his records.
Wow.
From 2008 and then like 2011
And no one's
and
talked about this.
2013.
If
or
I had
something.
seen that, I really would have even thought he killed her more than I already did.
Exactly. That's why we all thought that he did, because fucking evidence points to that.
Well, yeah, because look at the patterns. That's like
And
what I kept on my.
Ashley got like a protection order against him at some
In
point
2008?
for battery with her daughter Hayden was present.
We've got screenshots. There was a protection order against him.
I don't think they're compatible, honestly. They're
They're
both-
100%
should have
not.
got separated a long
That's an
time ago.
understatement.
and that's fine. You know, that's fine. But they need to move on, and they need to, you know, co-parent without being together. And yeah, but they need to acknowledge that they're not compatible. Some people need to help. That's why I'm saying she needs like some sort of mentor figure, some sort of motherly figure who's going to be by her side to help her find resources and get on her feet, because she can't rely on him anymore. It's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to herself. It's not fair to him. They are not compatible people. Honestly, though, if he has a history of domestic stuff with like doing that to people,
It's so many people. It's not just his ex. There's like 5 different cases against him.
yeah, then that's a mad
And it upsets me that this wasn't brought up to police before.
Or in the NBC article, like the hubby who has a history of domestic violence, like that's odd that wasn't brought up in the article.
I know that clearly at this point he had nothing to do with it because she vanished. But at the same point, it's like, what the fuck? Had it maybe been something? He has like so many charges. He has restraining orders against him. He tried to drive off a bridge and kill himself.
She vanished because the day that she made a post saying like all this horrible, scary stuff about him. Like,
well, I think now after seeing the videos, I think what she meant by him saying he wants the kids dead or something was her saying like she didn't feel safe to be home with the kids, and he was saying he wanted to leave. So, but
I don't
anyways,
know. I could really see him saying. I mean, everyone wants to say that maybe everyone wants to say that maybe she was the psycho person in this. But I've seen his videos and the way he acted and the way that and maybe I'm biased.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that he was an asshole or anything, but I mean, I feel like she also had some issues, which I don't know if it seems like she's had these since before she even knew him too. So, and I saw some of his family members saying he also has PTSD and stuff from when he was in the Navy. So I think they both have a lot of issues. And
dude, did you seriously just burp all out?
Oh my god, that was me. I am really sorry. I didn't think anyone else.
Was it really?
I don't really want to like speculate and put blame on.
I've done that a few times,
I
but
don't
I
know them
Thank you,
personally. You
Ian.
know.
I don't know, Cassandra. I feel that it's.
But I mean, I also have like a family member who is like borderline personality disorder, and I know like how I'll be talking to them, and then they will flip a switch and be like,
Are you talking about
saying
your
that I did
aunt?
something to them, and that like
Are you talking about your
they're
aunt?
screaming. Yeah, I don't know.
Cassandra,
I don't know.
is that your aunt?
What?
Is that your aunt? That we're talking about. Oh. Okay. I thought I
In case
knew
they ever
what you were
hear
talking
this
about.
video, I don't want them to
No.
hear me calling them out.
The thing I've noticed about borderline, like versus bipolar, is borderline people are usually more manipulative. Like they're more calculating in how they act versus like bipolar is usually more like a mood by mood basis.
I mean, if she was even BPD, do you think that she would like plan this shit out to the T? I mean,
I actually don't think it was planned at all.
Yeah, well,
I
with
think
BPD,
it was slightly planned. I really do. I think that she had posted previously about her shit and how she wanted to disappear, and then I think this opportunity, she left with someone.
Well,
and then
okay, planned like that, yes. I guess I was thinking more of like an elaborate plan. I do feel like she desired it and suddenly acted on it.
Yeah, so it was originally planned. She was looking for this, and then she left with someone one night. Cassandra, shut the fuck up. Why, Cassandra?
There's like a centipede crawling across my carpet. Hold on, I gotta.
Where do you live?
In Boise,
And
Idaho.
my cat's just staring at it, not even doing anything. Thanks, cat. And I gotta try to kill this while holding the sleeping.
Cassandra and I have been best friends for like a few months, but we've never met each other.
That's not weird.
Not
Ian and
at
I have
all.
known each other for a while,
but
we've never met.
So what I'm
don't
saying,
like these fucking centipede things. This is really awful.
Don't kill it.
Please kill it.
Did you say
They don't bite. They don't bite, do they? Or like sting or like.
It'll bring more if you kill it.
I used to be really scared of spiders till I lived in Arizona for a year.
Oh god.
And there's so many cockroaches.
Oh.
I'm no longer scared of spiders.
We got giant wood roaches in Tennessee, and I just got so used to them that I would like name them when they'd come out because they were big, and you couldn't kill them because they were like invincible. The wood roaches.
The cockroach.
Ian.
God.
Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. You look so serious in your picture.
He's a Scorpio.
Very serious person.
Hey,
I don't know. Anyway, I
how
don't
do
know.
you change them? Mine's like 10 years old.
Patricia.
I don't even know. I don't do this shit.
I like the wood underneath. I like the wood underneath the glasses. What's that all about?
Oh. Are you talking about on Heather's picture?
Yeah, I've been fascinated by that picture.
What do you see? What do you see on my picture?
It's like wood underneath glasses.
She's like scrunching her face.
So that is actually my 22-month-old hitting me in the face with my 8-year-old's back scratcher while I'm using A Snapchat filter.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was a back scratcher. I was going to say that, actually.
It's exactly a back scratcher, and I'm out in the yard nursing my 2-year-old, breastfeeding him. And
Wow. I thought she was like a painter, and that was like a big wooden paintbrush, and she was lying down in flowers. I totally had a different.
I thought it was some kind of
Mom lied.
artistic thing.
Yeah.
What is it? Your son's like beating you with a broom or something?
No, Cassandra, he's beating you with a back scratcher, and I'm using a Snapchat filter while I'm nursing him. He's like, hey.
Well, you guys, I have a heart condition, so when I don't get enough sleep, it's like really bad the next day. So I'm gonna.
You
And I
haven't
need to
gotten
wash
sleep
off
for
my
a while,
makeup.
huh?
I slept in my makeup last night, and then today, all I did was add more makeup on top of the makeup that I slept in last night. So I need to wash my face.
I think I washed my face yesterday, maybe.
Baby.
Good.
Baby.
Yeah.
I was going to
Keep up
take a
with
shower
us.
today, but it didn't happen.
I took a shower today, but it was the first time in like 5 days. So I feel very
Mom life.
Yes.
Well, I didn't shower today, but I do have like baby wipes that I like wipe my armpits and other areas with and stuff.
Get the brand water wipes.
What wipes?
Water wipes.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have them at Target.
Oh, I
They
just
don't
get the
have them at
Huggies.
Walmart. Don't get Huggies. They're filled with fiberglass.
I mean, I just like how cushy. I don't know. They
Shut up,
smell like my
Ian.
babies when they were.
Ian.
Well, Pampers has like a water wipe now.
Yeah, and Pampers also is filled with fiberglass.
Really? Is that not just like some meme spread on like Facebook that like
It's not.
debunked? Oh,
I
I'll have
mean,
to-
I don't think it was just the Huggies. I'm pretty sure.
Ian.
I can't make fun. I wore pull-ups until I was about 8.
Really?
My son is almost 8, and he's wearing pull-ups still.
And on the next
Ian.
line.
Ian.
Yes.
Find me on Facebook and add me.
Wait, who's saying that? I can't tell when y'all talk sometimes.
Heather.
That's back scratcher girl.
Yeah, that's
Back
me.
scratcher.
Back scratcher.
Anyone watch Family Guy?
Yes, that's what I
Used to,
just said.
yeah.
Back scratcher. Back scratcher.
Who says that? Stewie?
Peter.
No, Peter.
I haven't seen that episode. I can't stand Peter. He like really gets on my nerves.
I like Peter.
I do too. I really like Peter.
But he acts so much like men I know in my life.
That's exactly why it's funny, because
I
he is
think
such
that's
a
a personal
dumbass.
Like poor Lois is like actually seems like she's got half a brain, and he's just like
Peter.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Peter.
Meg, you know.
Meg is always
Oh my
like,
god, wait, are we still in live?
yeah, we're still live.
Woo!
Now Ashley can see that we're truly crazy too. So she's got, she
Yeah, Ashley, please listen to this and know that you're
Rodman,
bullshit.
Tell
That
us
you,
the
yeah,
answers, Rodman.
Rodman, where the fuck were you? You
And
were
then Matt
supposed
can hear
to,
this.
like,
Matt will be like, see,
listen.
they're a bunch of crazy women.
And Matt, I am really sorry for accusing you of murder, but you have to admit that all the evidence pointed to you.
But you
I will
suck.
say I was one
You're
of
a
the
dick.
people that was saying maybe you weren't a murderer, just so you know.
I didn't believe anyone. I was like, for sure.
Yeah.
Matt's a
We all
murderer.
still think you're a dick, though, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, I even thought like maybe she got abducted by aliens or something at one point.
I did think that.
I was like laying in my room the other night, all scared, and I like was afraid someone was
No,
looking at my window. and shit.
Cassandra, she had a post where she was saying that like maybe these people go disappearing because of aliens.
I see
So
that.
then I got,
Babe, is that you?
I
Okay,
got
I thought you were a murderer.
paranoid and I was like,
I thought I was just about to be murdered, you guys.
Caleb!
He came in the
Caleb!
back door because I forgot he parks back there now, and he came in the back door, and it scared the crap out of me. Yeah. So Caleb, what's your theory? What's your final statement on this whole
Caleb?
Ashley Nicole Rabon thing?
Make
You
him
want to
put the
say anything
headphones
on the
on.
YouTube?
Make him put it on.
Yeah, you want to talk on live YouTube? Yeah, your synopsis.
Caleb.
So my original theories, other than her getting murdered, was a Gone Girl scenario, or just that she went out partying or whatever for a few days, and then when she was going to go back, it had blown up, and then she was filled with shame and didn't want to show her face, so she just hid out for a while. And I think that last one is probably what happened.
Yep.
Caleb! Yes.
Oh yeah, you didn't see the post that her friend posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
Let me talk to Caleb, Cassandra.
All right, he's right here. You can tell
me
him
talk to
the
him.
synopsis.
So what are the new updates?
Caleb.
It's a dog.
Oh my
growling.
god. Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Hey, shut up, doggo.
Caleb.
Is your dog's name Doggo?
Unofficially, yes.
Caleb. Caleb.
Yes.
You can hear me. By the way, I'm Cassandra's new best friend, in case that memo hasn't been put out there.
And
Cool.
we're helping Cassandra escape.
Yes, from her abusive relationship.
Are you gonna leave me with Henry, and then there's gonna be a giant missing person Facebook group after you?
Don't
maybe?
tell him about it, Cassandra. Don't tell him anything.
So someone posted that she was possibly hanging out with this Tyrone Wilson guy.
Who's this bitch?
Huh?
He was the only guy arrested today.
So that's why they say it was a black
vehicle.
dude. It was a black dude arrested of something.
No, it's a
So
white guy.
Oh,
Name Tyrone?
Tyrone Wilson. Yeah, he
It was
looks
the
like
butler
he's on
in the kitchen.
that's a lie.
That guy definitely does meth. No
It's
doubt
a
about it.
lie. No one is white named Tyrone.
There's
Well,
apparently
Tyrone Powers.
There's apparently one guy, and
It's
he looks
a
like he's
lie.
50, so maybe
Look up
he's
Tyrone
like an
Powers.
old man on a motorcycle.
yeah.
Isn't that the
So
brand of
maybe
chicken?
back then there were white Tyrones, and they've just gone the way of the dinosaur.
Isn't that a chicken brand, Tyrone, or is it
Tyson.
Tyson. But Tyrone Powers was an actor in the 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I believe you.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. That's probably
Baby.
not him, 'cause,
Mm-hmm.
well, who knows? That was
Is this
from
embarrassing
Lexington
for your
County,
life?
but they were in Aiken County.
Oh, no.
But I guess he did steal it from Lexington, probably.
Is there any connection other than that he was just randomly arrested today?
No.
Who's
Oh
this
yeah.
dude
Well,
talking?
her
Is
family
it
or someone
Ian?
posted that she
No.
was with somebody with a stolen
Who's the
truck.
dude talking?
Oh,
Well, when this all started, didn't somebody say that the guy, the Rodman guy, didn't he say that somebody
Rodman
had
wasn't
picked her up?
involved.
They said that
No.
somebody had picked her up, but it wasn't him. But he had
said
seen
that.
her.
He said that in the Dateline article, but he had never come forward with that information before.
Right.
So that
He was
article
probably
became
scared because he's like the black guy in the situation, and cops weren't doing
Yeah.
anything.
I wonder, Ashley's status update that I'm not racial profiling, but
Hey,
most people that came forward to me were like, was that a black dude that wrote it? And I got
maybe
kind of
the
upset,
reason.
why?
Maybe the reason he was like, I'm not mad at you, girl, was because she tried to make it seem like maybe he did something to her.
No,
And
I don't. I think
Maybe.
that
That weird
someone I don't think that it was Ashley that updated her status. I think it was someone else in that drug house, which I'm still 100% convinced it was some fucking drug house. I think that she or someone else updated it, and they made it seem like a black dude, which in perspective pisses me off, because why do you need to make it seem like a black dude?
No, that is a really good point, because in all the history of all Ashley's posts, if you just type that N-word that was used in that post, if you type it with her name, it doesn't pull up a single
No, you don't do that.
post. And her
Right?
posts go as far back as 2010.
Take the baby.
There was someone using the N-word, saying nigga, and you know 100% that it was not her that typed that. The
She never has
posting-
before. Mm-mm.
No.
Well, the
And you
grammar
and
and
you
stuff
know
she used
no,
was way
Ian,
different, or that was
Ian,
used was
Ian,
way
Ian.
different in that post.
That's not me.
They
Exactly.
spelled the same word differently
Wait,
multiple times
Caleb.
throughout the post.
Caleb. Is that Caleb talking?
That was Caleb, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Caleb.
I
We've never met before. No.
The group is posted our live 8 minutes
But
ago.
what upsets me is someone chose to word shit to make it look like a black dude, which I am not racist,
But
to
see,
me,
you know what they're going to say to you? They're going to tell you, oh, actually, I didn't look at it that way because white people use that word too. So you know what that means? That makes you racist for seeing it as racist. Ha ha ha.
I had people message me outside of this asking me why people were asking him that it was racist. And I literally had to explain to one girl, and I was like, and she was black. I had to say, when
Oh,
she
I
was
saw.
like, why are people... Yeah, I was like, she was like, why is it racist? And I was like, people were using the word nigga.
And they never used it. Like, it'd be different if Ashley, like, used that a lot when talking.
No, and she didn't. And this girl was like, I didn't even see that as racist. So that's what pisses me off, is that Ashley either A, chose to post this shit, or B, chose someone to post it for her, and they tried to pin a black dude when black people don't already have the bullshit end of the stick.
Yeah, I agree. Someone in the chat said, so has the prostitution thing been substantiated? And then they said, someone, it was her. And I think they're talking about, like, because we're saying that someone posted it, you know, using that N-word, and they're saying, like, someone, it was her. So they think...
Why does everyone assume that because of
well,
wording?
if she had her phone the whole time, though.
Well,
Who's
was she
talking
trying
right
to
now?
make it look like
Caleb?
Rodman was the one who dropped her off or something? I don't know. Like,
Well, I don't think that Rodman dropped her off.
no, I said, was she trying to make it seem that way? Because she obviously is the person who wrote that post.
I don't think she
was just trying to make it seem like it was some random black guy.
I think she was trying to make it
some
seem...
girl that wrote the post.
Caleb.
A girl?
I thought she worded it like it was a girl that wrote the post.
Caleb.
I don't know.
I don't think she tried to word it as a girl.
She definitely, if she wrote it, she definitely worded it.
She was trying to
it wasn't
word
her,
shit.
though, because she typed way different. Like, her Facebook statuses were all like grammatically correct and like typed out. They weren't like filled with misspellings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, 100%. That's one thing that concerned me, is like there's this Facebook status with all these.
And it's interesting that the way us women read it was like as a man talking, but him read it as a female talking. So
it's definitely important. It may sound petty, you know, that we keep talking about that post, but this was a post that was made while she was supposedly missing and didn't have access to her phone. That's definitely something that will come up in court of law. That will definitely come up, and they're gonna have to see who wrote that, because whoever did, that was a form of distraction, which goes along the lines of, I don't know the exact legal term, but when someone's missing, if you mislead people, there's an actual, like, that's not, you know, I don't know if it's illegal, but that's not, you know, acceptable behavior.
Like,
it is legal to mislead people,
even though
hindering an investigation.
Yes, thank you,
yeah,
Cassandra.
like misleading the police.
Yes,
that's not legal.
It's illegal 100%. That's what I've been trying to talk to my husband about, and I was like, if I get involved in this and I found shit out that the cops don't know, am I gonna go to jail? And my husband was like, well, if you're hindering an investigation. I was like, I'm pretty sure that I am.
Right? Like, what if she had answered one of those like messenger calls, like strung out or something? Like, hey, like, what would we do?
She knew 100% what she was doing.
So basically, her post is saying she was kidnapped
Is
by
that Caleb?
guy.
Yeah, she was kidnapped, but then like he gave her phone back before she got arrested from the
after
cops.
like 7 days.
So someone was saying that she got pulled over in a car and she ran and she dropped her ID in the car and then they found her later in a house with a bunch of stolen goods.
Believe Caleb. He's super smart.
Caleb's kind of behind because he's been at work all day.
But see, sometimes people from the outside who don't know as much, sometimes their point of view is more helpful in a way because like we have all these like biases and we have all this other information. So he's kind of seeing just the surface stuff that,
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
not seeing shit, but he is still really smart, I'm sure. Cassandra and I have talked about this throughout the investigation. I feel like every time Caleb has put his, 2 cents in, it's been right.
Yeah, sure.
Gee, thanks, guys.
Okay, so then when do you think we're going to get like answers?
Never. I mean, there's been cases where someone was missing and then they came back and then they never said what happened, like national coverage and everything.
I think she's going to make live streams and talk herself.
His side of the family seems to be pretty interested in airing their dirty laundry all over, so, we might find out.
Mm-hmm.
Just look out for her on Facebook. Yeah.
Tune in.
No, but do you think she's really going to update Facebook after this?
Well, she made that public statement according to Savannah.
No, but she talked to Savannah.
Because she's like restrained.
No, Savannah, I'll be completely honest about this. Savannah wants the attention. I've looked back on Savannah's page and Ashley's page, and they've had nothing to do with each other. So Savannah is taking this opportunity to get attention.
So then do you think that statement's even like accurate?
I do. As much as I'm talking shit, I feel that because clearly this statement isn't directly from Ashley. So Savannah is talking to her. And as much as I feel that maybe Savannah and her weren't close and maybe Savannah was looking for attention,
was Savannah the girl that kept on doing the videos like, I was talking to the cops and I'm gonna try and
No, that was Shayla.
Yeah, no, Savannah was
trying to raise money because she's getting evicted, and that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
Savannah was the person that was like, "Oh, my best friend, I'm Ashley's best friend." Blah blah blah. She wasn't involved in anything before then. Henry. I don't know. Savannah's definitely involved. Oh, Henry.
Well, you guys, I need to get involved in some sleep. So, because it's like almost 2 a.m. where I am, and I have to rise at 6 a.m. So, and I need to wash my makeup off. So, yeah, if y'all want to say any last words again, seriously, and then I'll end it.
All right. I think we should make another video because I feel this video didn't accurately talk about everything we wanted to.
I agree. And Rodman might come tomorrow if we do it a little earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You didn't get him on. That was the whole...
Yeah, Rodman. I think Rodman needs to be on here to talk about being on here.
He really wanted to come on, like, for more than one reason. Like, so I really do foresee him coming on. I think it's just a bad timing tonight. So
Okay. Well, I think we should figure out a time where we can all be on.
yeah, this one was kind of like when we found out she was alive.
Get it.
There was a lot going on, and then so it'll be a little more planned. Eric says, "Good night. Thanks for streaming. Good night to you too."
All right. Good night, guys.
And it was nice to get to know y'all better. And yeah, we will do this again. So everybody tune in, and I'm gonna see. I'm figuring out how to get off this again. Oh yeah, okay.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Ian.
All right.